for game one.
Okay, looks like Mineski actually got a penalty. They have 30 seconds less ban time.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the penalty is for, if they were delayed or something like that.
Maybe someone can tell us that.
10 seconds remaining.
I wouldn't say 30 seconds is... I think the highest penalty is that you lose your entire bonus time. That's the highest penalty you can give, and that is
harsh.
Super difficult.
That's what, level 1, 2, and 3?
But 30 seconds is okay. That's manageable. I'm just curious what
the
happened.
aforementioned bags, because I don't think you're allowed to bring bags into the game.
Ooh. Maybe they delayed the start of the game because they had to go through some in-depth security with their bags and have everything checked.
Maybe.
Took too long.
Maybe.
10 seconds
Right.
remaining.
We will find out and we will report.
So they will ban out the Doom against Secret. I don't think
5
that's
seconds
any
remaining.
really big surprise. I'm curious to see what happens to Slaughter in this matchup, mainly.
First band.
Reserve time.
Very contested between these two teams. Do you think Secret would take Slaughter if Mineski let it through, as well as their Dazzle and Huskar, for example?
I sort of think Team Secret expects them to go for this all-in strategy. I think they want the Slaughter as well, so I wouldn't be surprised to see an Undying ban right
Undying would be a good ban.
They've been pretty upfront, Mineski, as well, haven't they? Been pretty upfront about the fact that they're going to go heads on. They're going to go at the jugular, and it's the way that they've played, so Secret can't be expecting anything else, surely.
now. Well, the Shadow Priest ban is a good one. It's obviously eliminating the risk of Huskar being picked, and
Also increases the value of their Slaughter first pick if they decide to let it through.
yeah.
Team
Wish they did.
Secret's turn to pick.
So what do we have now? I feel like there's
Shadow Fiend or Bane?
Undying. So Bane Undying, yeah.
So what Secret could do was do the Undying just as a pick ban. But I think it's more likely that they'll pick up the Shadow Fiend or even the Bane just to play to their own strengths.
What about Queen?
I personally think Queen is
10
much more first pick
seconds
worthy
remaining.
than Shadow Fiend, but most of the teams here disagrees.
5 seconds remaining.
How much has Mineski favored Shadow Fiend?
Radiant
matches.
team pick.
It's not picked too commonly because they generally get Queen.
Which one would you get against Ember? Like, Secret are actually giving a lot of information away with an Ember Spirit first pick. Okay, it's Queen. There's another guy we
Team
forgot.
Secret's turn
Yeah,
to
that's been a
pick.
popular combo as well this week and last week.
Just to save face for the Palin. Safe.
You're doing a really poor job at that.
I think you may have thrown us under the bus and
Yeah.
reversed over us.
This just speaks to how balanced the metagame is, that there's so many heroes that could very well be first pick material. We were talking about how Undying and AA or Bane Elemental could come into play, and then instead they go for the
10
Ember Spirit,
seconds
and they follow up with
remaining.
Queen of Pain and Darkseer. Shadow Fiend has still not been picked by either side.
Team Secret's turn to ban.
A lot of good heroes.
Secret actually do something very unusual here. They pick their carry and their mid in the first two. That's like almost never happens. You generally see either two cores where one is the offlaner, or you just see a support and a core in the first.
I mean, these two offered a little bit
10
of everything, though.
seconds
Good split
remaining.
push, good somewhat anti-BKB with Blink Jackal being nearly
5
instantaneous,
seconds remaining.
good scaling into late game, and decent anti-push. So I don't really think you can go wrong with those two.
Okay.
There's just so much information.
Yeah, I was going to say, why would a team do that? Is it overconfidence?
Because they've had a lot of success with it, and no one has really been able to successfully
Lock it
really
down.
counterdraft it. Unless there's a Doom or a Slaughter in the pool, which have already been banned out. So
Have we
Did-
seen
did-
we play anything else than Shadow Fiend and Wind Ranger yet this tournament?
10 seconds
my knowledge.
remaining.
He also plays Queen,
5
but they already
seconds
picked that on
remaining.
Mineski. So, look at Secret's bans.
Radiant
They're
team
really,
ban.
really targeting the previous strategy for Mineski here. I think, did Mineski have these 4 picks, all 4 of them that were banned just now in the last game against Alliance?
Yeah, they did.
All 4. Wow.
But the I think the
10
Tusk was being played
seconds
mid.
remaining.
Oh yeah, that's right. They played a mid-tusk. They surprised Alliance with that.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, so we've played Shadow Fiend, Wind Ranger, and
Reserve
Queen of
time.
Pain.
Okay. That's the AA ban. So, nothing very
Radiant team pick.
curious to see what...
The A-ban rings a little hollow now as compared to a Bane. I think because they no longer really need to fear the AA too much, unless they, of course, want to pick up an Alchemist, for instance.
They could totally do that, actually.
I think it's just one of their better supports that they run with, and that's much better at team fighting. I think if they go for something like Bane, they can easily pick like a Disruptor or something
10
like that, who's
seconds
also good
remaining.
versus Ember and Wind Ranger and have a superior team fight over Secret.
And Chilling Touch
5
is
seconds
very, very
remaining.
good on the 2-core Secret picked first. So I still think you can argue for an AA ban just based on Chilling Touch in this game. Obviously, great synergy with Focus Fire and with the Sleight of Fist.
Are we expecting Undying to be picked up anytime soon?
It's unusual to still be in the pool and
Yeah.
not banned after
I don't think so. When they
second phase.
when Mr. Johnny Cash, aka Jesse Bass, playing the when they picked Undying, it's been him playing it, and tends to run the offlane where they have a Darkseer.
Yeah, good call. The lady called that one.
It's interesting that they banned AA and then took so long to find their pick. Generally, when we see teams in this phase, you ban and then you're pretty quickly sure what you want to pick, but they needed some time for this one.
Disruptor is, I think, one of the supports that it's pretty good versus Ember Spirit, but there's not one that's like perfect versus him, but he's one of the best, I would say.
Yeah.
Aside from that, what other ones are we looking at to deal
10
with
seconds
the Ember?
remaining.
Because Ember, played by Envy, has just been consistent pain
5
trying
seconds
to deal
remaining.
with the split push.
You're saying support or hero?
Support.
Yeah, I think Disruptor, one of the best.
Reserve time.
Lion comes to mind. Silencer is actually pretty strong. But
Radiant
then you have a
team
Silencer support, which I think the results for haven't been very good in general.
Disruptor's only 20% win rate, by the way.
Team
20%.
Secrets
Out of how many games?
turn
5 or
to
10?
Only like 5 games, so
Nice.
So now another silence coming out for Ember Spirit. This is actually shaping up to be a difficult Ember Spirit game.
This hero is so good with Iron Shell, and it fits Mineski's idea of playing hyper-aggressively. Night Stalker Darkseer can start taking over a game at the first nighttime if they get a couple of kills running. So
10
I like this
seconds
pick a lot
remaining.
from them. The one downside, though, is that this support duo
5
is not
seconds
very good
remaining.
very early on. So pressuring Secret in lanes when they have a Bane is going to be difficult.
Reserve time.
So we expect the Queen of Pain to be played by Bimbo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they still have that carry left on Mineski.
Don't Secret need a hero up in front that can actually get vision of these heroes? It seems like as the team fights are going to happen right now, Night Stalker is almost always going to be able to get the jump because none of these heroes really want to be up in front and get vision for Team Secret.
I sort of like the Undying pick for Secret themselves just because it can go in and it's, you know, if they fight around the Tombstone, Queen of Pain, Darkseer Disruptor especially, can't really choose to fight elsewhere.
And Tombstone also gives good vision at nighttime even. It's pretty useful. Of course, if you cast Darkness, it should still be limited to 475, is it? Can't remember.
675?
Is that high? Okay.
I think
Ben is giving me the look.
The look? You gave me the look too, to be fair.
All right, this is actually a pretty good solution too. So there's some vision for you with the Hawk. Roar great against Night Stalker. The Boar is annoying too. But of course, they have Surge to counteract this flow. I still think this was a very, very nice pick.
But it still pretty much means that they can't really fight Mineski in a team fight. Like, in the middle phase of the game, unless they have a huge lead right now, right? It's pretty much just try and avoid with Ember Spirit and the Beastmaster Hawk as well as you can and go for solo picks with, you know, the Shackle and or Grip.
You know, I often think so with some of the draft that Team Secret has pulled off, but they seem to just constantly do this kind of guerrilla tactic where they attack from several sides and still do a 5-on-5 essentially. They just play it differently than a lot of other teams. It's not your typical, all right, we're running 5 guys from one side and you guys are running 5 guys from the other.
Turn to ban.
Do you think they needed to ban Chen this game? Was that going to be a really big problem? Because I think the reason it worked so well in the last time we saw them pick it was that their opponent had some pretty greedy lanes where Chen could just run over them.
I mean, I think it works well in the sense that if you're Team Secret, you actually want to group up a lot. And
5 seconds remaining.
that's the best way, I think, to tackle Night Stalker as opposed to out farm and hope you can farm faster than he can kill you. And I think having that really nice ball of heroes with the aura, with, you know, Inner Beast and all the Chen auras and the heal, of course, I think that's actually a pretty good way to deal with it.
And in Poppy's arsenal of heroes, Chen is by far his strongest as well, so...
Yeah, what's left for Puppy, actually? We generally see him playing Dazzle, Chen, AA. All 3 of those are
Team
banned.
Secrets turn to pick.
What else did he play this tournament? Has he even... Bane,
know, but I'm
Bane
sure-
is generally Pilot Eye, right?
Poppy's played Bane.
He played Bane too? Okay.
So
I like this PL pick a lot, actually, even though they're doing it into Ember. I think they are very, very strong in the early mid portion of the game, which they're looking to dominate. If they can play the PL like CDEC, I favor their draft almost no matter what secret
10
pick.
seconds remaining.
But can they?
5
I think
seconds
Witch Doctor
remaining.
could be a decent support.
That's true. That's another hero that they like. Yeah, I like Witch Doctor a lot
10
here.
seconds
If
remaining.
you're Poppy and you're looking at Mineski's team and how
5
they've
seconds
picked and
remaining.
drafted, would you have banned out the Magnus?
Support
Okay.
Beastmaster?
This is going to be interesting. Game 1 of Team Secret and Mineski is on the way. Let's join our commentary team for Game 1. Odie Pixel and Purge.
Indeed, thank you very much, Paul. It is myself, Odie Pixel and Purge, that will be taking you through the first series of the day here, the best of 3 between Team Secret and Mineski. Now, obviously, Mineski coming into this one as the underdogs. Purge, have they got the draft here to take a game against Secret?
It's looking pretty good. I kind of like the Phantom Lancer pick because it does counter a lot of what Secret's working with, but in the late game, Ember Spirit's good against that because of the cleave, and then they add that to Magnus, who's going to give him extra cleave. So even before he gets a Battle Fury, he's going to be able to deal with the PL very well. So I think that's why Secret adjusted their draft here and pushed the Beastmaster into a support position.
Okay, I mean, obviously the PL, it's not the best win rate at the moment on this patch, but recently we've seen a few games where it has been played very well. I believe Aggressive obviously picked it up, and the play style that he used was fantastic for the kind of game it was in, and it won them the game. If they're able to play the PL in that way, do you think they can get ahead of Secret and stay ahead of Secret?
It's definitely possible because they do have the better early game heroes. Like Beastmaster is weak pre-6. Wind Ranger isn't really good until the 7 to 10 mark where shackle shots last a lot longer. I mean, if Secret can do a great job on Bane, get a fast level 6 there, yeah, they can make a lot of kills around the map, but Secret should be able to outfarm them in a lot of ways. But I think Mineski does have the better early game. So yeah, they could get ahead, they could dominate in that way, but do they have the same ability to do that Secret would when they're ahead? I also think Secret has the definite possibility to play from behind, so we'll see how it turns out.
All right, seems good. Thanks, Purge. And let's get ourselves into the game. So game 1 between Mineski and Team Secret. A lot of people are going to be very interested to see how this one pans out. We have seen, of course, that Mineski, they can step it up. They got to the upper bracket here. We casted them against eHome, and these guys can be incredibly scary.
Yeah, they're very talented at all their positions. They have very good teamwork. Maybe they're a little over-aggressive sometimes, but I think they can definitely take it to Secret and get at least 1 game, possibly 2 out of this.
Oh, here we go. I mean, in terms of the lanes from both sides, obviously we saw the fact that Misery, with that final pick, he's going to be on that solo lane. Magnus, do you think we are going to see safe lane, tri lanes from both teams, or is anyone going to switch it up?
I don't think Mineski really wants to do an aggressive tri lane. While they do have the better early game heroes, they're heroes that can profit a lot from roaming. If they dedicate them in the off lane, then it would leave their carry by himself more often than not, and I don't think that's really what they want to do. It's definitely a lot better if they just do a safe tri lane, do Darkseer in the off lane. That'll be a good zoning against the Ember Spirit, and then later on they can use their slight level advantage and slight better early game to win.
All right, G Potato, he's just going to blink himself away from that one as Pilado was there. Jesse Vash just forcing back
The
Misery
battle
away from that
begins.
top rune, so going to be able to secure that one here. It's not going to be going to the mid lane by the looks of it. The side of Mineski, and in fact PL will be able to grab that one. Cuckoo taking the top, and Weehaw will claim himself the bottom. And it is, of course, that Weehaw Wind Ranger. We know this is one of those heroes that he's incredibly terrifying to go against, and it's going to be interesting to see how this Queen can do against him in the mid lane.
They're actually doing really interesting lanes,
Okay,
though. I think this
okay.
is Mineski predicting what Secret was about to
Right.
do, because Secret has
Yeah.
moved the Ember Spirit to the off lane, basically, and they put Queen of Pain down there. Now, if it was a Phantom Lancer in the safe lane, that's a hero that isn't necessarily going to trade amazing against Ember
Radiant's
Spirit. But
courier
oh,
has
the
been
courier getting
Okay.
killed here. That was with a boar? Are you kidding me?
That was with the... Yeah, okay, all right.
How do you even do that? That's amazing.
Yeah, Puppy's turning up today. And, well, already bottom lane, Jesse Vash just trading hits with Envy, and Envy was going to get the Void Star on him, and in fact, he's in a bit of trouble here. Moving forward with a Thunderstrike, he's going to get fairly low. Pilot die, trying to do what he can to save Envy, but he's going to give his life up. First blood there to Mineski. They do save Envy, but nonetheless, Mineski still getting the kill.
So that's going to put Quap really low. He's got to be slightly careful here. There's a small chance he could die, but he's got enough tangos where he should be able to heal up. Yeah, look at that, down to 50 HP. Pi can zone him so easily. He even has to defensively blink. He can't even stand in his lane here.
And with only 2 tangos left, as you said, the fact they don't have a courier still for a minute and a half, it's going to make it very hard for the Quap to come safely back into lane. So CS for Envy should start to look pretty good. He should be able to catch that up. Mid lane at the moment between the PL and the Wind Ranger, as expected, it is the edge here for Weehan. 9 for 3 compared to the 5 for 1. But in terms of lanes, as you said, do you feel this is the best decision from the side of Mineski?
I'm not 100% on that just yet. We'll see how it turns out, because obviously they did just get a bit of an advantage, but they invest a lot in early items like boots and null talismans, so they don't have as much regen as a hero typically would. They might also test the rune here. We'll see.
Yeah, we've got a few heroes looking around this void. Onto Pilot Dial. Turn around with the Brain Step onto Jesse. He's going to still continue to chase, and there's just Shadow Strike. Getting the slow through the Thunder Strike as well. He blinks forward aggressively, trying to get the right clicks through. It's going to bring Pilot Dial fairly low. Not quite low enough to kill him here. Maybe, in fact, one more should do it. And Pilot Dial, he may tick down. Puppey now trying to look for a return bit of action. Bane's going to be fine. Does get the Tango out, living on just about 20 HP. And Puppey chasing down. He's hungry for action. He gets the ball slow through, but he's not going to chase any deeper. He, in fact, turns around. Potato gets the strike out, but Puppey, he's just manning up, forces Raging Potato to blink away. And Puppey at the moment causing a lot of issues for Mineski across the map.
Yeah, just the Stout Shield and your basic 4 armor, and Beastmaster is very happy to trade. He does 68 base damage on average as well. And it's not a huge range, so he can trade very well against these guys. He is getting a little bit behind in terms of levels, and they also re-sentry the pull camp as well. So the 2 supports here on Mineski aren't going to be able to get very much from that lane. Is this the worst, though? I mean, they could maybe sacrifice Quap a little bit, but in the off lane, Darkseer is going to be doing really well. And in the mid lane, seems like PL's doing just fine. 15 CS matching Weeha and the Wind Ranger. So I feel like they should maybe roam with their supports a little bit. It would be hard to kill a Wind Ranger, though. So maybe it is better to just go back to the tri lane and keep fighting.
And bottom lane, they've got to be very, very careful, the side of Mineski, if they come out. And, I mean, as you were saying in the mid, the PL, he's done a great job. He's 18 for 4 now against the 17 for 3.
Yeah, he's not the worst mid hero, actually, because any harass you take, you're happy to spam Lance to zone your opponent a little bit. I think that's pretty good. If you ever want to go aggressive, you can use Phantom Rush. Oh, initiation on bottom.
There's your Nightmare setup. Envy's going to move forward. He gets the chains onto Bo for the heroes. They'll look for Jules first and they'll find it. That's going to be the first kill. Jesse Vash now coming in with a TP. Let's see if they can find anything off the back of it. Looking to trade hits with Pilot Eye, but Raging Potato takes a brain step to the face, and Secret will just get away with the kill. No return from Mineski.
It's a very weird trialing for Secret, but it's completely working out. I think a lot of that really was the lack of regen that we had on Queen of Pain. If she had a salve that one time they got the first blood, and she was able to
the shackles there, and look at this. He's trying to go for the deny, but doesn't manage to deny the rune. It's still picked up, and now Weeha could be in trouble. Cuckoo trying to chase this in. He's going to try and walk this off, Weeha.
Should be fine.
Feeling a lot of aggression, and that's caused Weeha with the empty bottle, and Cuckoo now have a top one. Envy is going to find himself a regen down here.
That'll be really good for him.
Looks like he might let it go to the Wind Ranger there.
But she just wants to... Jesse Vash?
Jesse! He chickened out.
I feel like he could have gone for that. Neither of them had mana. He may not have known that, but that would have been big. I really think they did need more regen, though, because after you get a kill, if you're put down to low HP and the support respawns, in some ways it's good for the support. Yeah, you gave them gold, but you show back up to the lane, and this is the first time Queen of Pain has been full HP. If she was able to salve instead, they could have pressured Pi.
They're going to try and go again, but there we go. The Nightmare toggles up. It still gets the chains down, and they've got the damage. They'll take down Raging Potato before he can blink away. And a second kill for Secret on this bottom lane.
It's a good try by Jules. He put the Nightmare on himself so that Queen of Pain could get away, but the Syrian Chains came just in time, and no blink there means that Queen of Pain gets punished. So in a lane where you thought maybe Eternal Envy was going to die a lot, he's actually getting an advantage here. He's got 21 CS, he's got a kill and assist to his name, and Secret's got to be really happy with this, especially because on the other side of the map, Misery has a lot of levels. He's up to 6 now, and that means that he's going to be able to get a lot more done in the early game from a ganking perspective, and he's going to have a lot of extra levels of Empower. So Envy's doing well. We have on the mid lane, Weeha's trading at least evenly, and Misery's going to have way more levels than normal, which means it's going to further accelerate Envy. This is looking like a really good game for Secret right now.
But at the same time, considering how a lot of people would have had a perspective of Mineski going into this one, they're stepping up to a level that's showing to be even equal to Secret at the moment, because they're not getting crushed in these lanes by any means, and they are managing to keep up at a certain level.
Yep, but I think their mid-game outlook is not looking as good because of the farm that Secret is getting. So, yeah, they have some interesting ideas, and things are working out okay for them right now, but it's definitely looking like a good Secret game for the mid-game.
Kuku's going to look for the rune here. We'll see if he tries to go for it. Both Puppey and Envy are there. He's just going to man up and fight, and he'll get the rune as well. Takes it. Now Jesse's coming in. Throws down the void. Kuku fairly low, but he'll be able to doppelganger up to the high ground. And he's going to be fine, and again, just gets away with taking the rune from right under Secret's noses.
I don't know if I'd say gets away with. He lost 400 HP here, which is...
He's got the bottle filled up.
So he ran to a rune, he lost all of his HP, which is now countered by the fact that he gets a bottle, but he could have had that HP without being there. So really all he did was chance dine and get a bounty rune, which is, you know, he could have stayed mid and got equal farm and had the same HP. I don't know if doing that was necessarily worth it. If they had a bottle, yes, and it was actually.
Oh, misery. I will pretend we didn't see that one. That was...
misclick?
Yeah, misclick.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Not great from that.
Envy did have a bottle, though, so he was countered, and that's pretty big. So, no bottle for Eternal Envy. I guess it was worth it after all. Level 4 in Queen of Pain now. She's got boots and a bottle in the base. And Disruptor's still sitting behind, just in case she gets in trouble. Puppey picking up level 3. Actually getting 2 levels of Wild Axe is a little interesting skill build here. A lot of players will be maxing out Wild Boar, even when playing a support Beastmaster, but Puppey's seen a bit different here.
We can see at the top, the side of Mineski were looking for something, still trying to use this nighttime, but there is that lane wall from the Dire, so Secret are well aware that Night Stalker's up there, looking to dive with the shell. I'm going to actually send the Night Stalker now bottom, see if they've got any better luck against Envy and Puppey. Got 3 of them there. And there we go. Envy's trying to lead in himself with the Axe as well, bringing Raging Potato fairly low, but Jesse Vash is coming in. They get the Void down, and there's the Glizzard pack as well. Do they have the damage? And they do. They'll take down Envy there, Mineski. And mid lane as well, Weeha just getting pressured back. And Mineski keeping it even on the board, and that's a big kill to get.
Yeah, and a really good gank too. That was cool. They put Iron Shell on the Night Stalker. He teleported to the bot lane, I think. Otherwise, there's no way an Iron Shell could get across the map.
No, it's right, because he was up top. They saw him come into lane from the ward, and then he just hid in the trees, TP'd from the trees behind the tower, so Secret still thought he was top looking for the kill.
Yeah, that's really smart. That's reading the map, basically thinking they probably had an Observer ward in the area. And sometimes one of those ways where knowing that they have vision can really help, because you can trick your opponent like that. Haste rune picked up on Queen of Pain. She could maybe pressure Puppey here, but very high chance he gets him. I'm still a little confused how the boar killed the courier. It must be, I know he does piercing damage, so maybe the courier has unarmored or something, so he took bonus, because a regular courier has 100 HP, you know? He would have had to hit it like a lot of times, so I never knew you could do that with the level 1 boar. It's a pretty cool trick.
Mid lane Pilot does come in to try and help. We are top lane, moving in on Ryo. He'll vacuum back Misery. He goes forward with the Stewart, and there's your RP. This time it will connect, and they should be able to find the Darkseer there with Remnant Burst from Envy. Secret are able to find a kill this time with the RP.
So yeah, 47 CS on Magnus here. He's level 8 now. He can basically gank passively because he's ahead of his opponents. He doesn't have to worry about dying like a typical offlane Magnus. I could definitely see Misery doing some great things this game.
I mean, in terms of, you talked about the mid-game before, that's really going to be the go time here for Mineski, you feel?
It was supposed to be. I don't know if it'll happen now. Night Stalker's 4 in 9 minutes. Disruptor's sitting at level 4 as well. They never got control of their pull. Secret blocked it twice in a row with sentry wards. Normally they just put 1 sentry down, but that means you only have to wait till about 2.5 minutes or so to end up pulling again. Instead now, this is the first time I've seen them start a pull here, and it's 9 minutes in, and their supports are definitely under-leveled, and they're both supports that kind of need levels. Like Night Stalker you can get away with maybe being under-leveled, but as soon as Disruptor hits 6, you go around the map and you start getting kills, and they've delayed that massively, whereas the hero on the safe lane on the Radiant side, or the Dire side, sorry, was Misery on the Magnus, so he's already set up a kill. So they're definitely behind in their gank potential, and with Queen of Pain dying once in lane as well, you know, they're a little bit on the back foot.
And I'm just looking at the 2 cores that Mineski have got, this Queen of Pain and PL. You look at the side of Secret, they've got a lot of ways to catch these mobile heroes out.
Yeah, they do Blink Dagger on Wind Ranger, which will eventually come. They can do Blink Shackle, they can get a Blink Dagger rush on Puppey, get a roar off, things like that. There's a lot of good ways that they can catch. You're completely right with that. Actually, all 5 of their heroes can catch, essentially. It's going to be a little scary for Mineski when Secret get aggressive.
Bottom lane, Bane's coming through. There is a Sonic Wave available, and Raging Potato might go for the straight-up kill attempt. There will be a Nightmare, though. That's going to hold him back, and Highlight Eyes should be all right there. So Raging Potato just trying to wait for that opportune moment to get the Sonic Wave through, but it's not going to happen for the time being.
I'll force Bane back, and he's got bottle charges anyways, so no big loss for him. Continue to pressure the tower a little bit. Well, this is more like the beginning of the pressuring of the tower. Try to catch Darkseer up a little bit on the top lane. I'm sorry, not Darkseer, Night Stalker. Darkseer is actually level 9. He's having a great game up here.
Arroyo working, of course, towards that mechanism. And as you said, Jesse Vash hanging up top, but probably won't see him look for anything more across the map until nighttime hits again. He's trying to build up his urn.
Radiant's middle tower is under
Weehart just seeing what he can take away from Cuckoo, just clearing up the jungle camp. I mean, on this PL this game, would you expect to see pretty much straight up Diffusal Rush?
Yeah, I think Diffusal Rush is super good this game. It counteracts the Windrunner's ability to get away, basically, because as soon as she uses Windrun, you just slow her. So that movement speed advantage she would get would be a little bit lessened. It also can remove Ember Spirit's Flame Guard, which means that he's not going to be able to do damage to the illusions as fast.
Oh, bottom lane, there's your Sonic Wave. And Puppey, he might just tick out. He's going to look for the TP back, but I think he's gone.
Great
just
TP.
in time, and now Misery with the RP. He's looking for the return kill. Potato will get the blink out. But indeed, that TP just getting him back in time to get that fountain regen. In a very close call for Puppey.
That's quick decision making, basically. He knew there's no way that I'm going to survive this unless I teleport, and he made the TP. Really nicely done by him. And that wastes the quap ult. They did lose an RP in the exchange, but again, Misery is still super far ahead compared to most offlane Magnuses, so he's going to be absolutely fine. He's getting kind of close to his blink dagger.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Phantom Lancer definitely will go for a Diffusal Blade. We're going to see Darkseer after he finishes a mech go for a blink, most likely. That way they can do Vacuum into Static Storm Kinetic Field. If they can get a couple of good ones off, then Secret is easily going to lose team fights. But I think they're going to have the presence of mind to not group up too much, especially because of the heroes they have. They're a mix of range and melee, so I think there's unlikely that we'll see a super big Static Storm this game, but probably maybe some 3-mans.
Looking in terms
Dire's
of
top
items,
tower
it's
is under
probably going to be the
attack.
Orchid Rush here for the Quap after the Treads. So it's going to be nice against some of these heroes. Of course, Envy does have his Boots of Travel now, so he's going to really be able to make as much as he can from multiple lanes and always have that opportunity to turn up to the fights when they do kick off. And we may very well see a fight kick off on the top lane because Mineski smoking up. The 3 of them at this point in time looking to fight. Envy's there in the lane, but Puppey is on the sidelines. He's yet to hit level 6. Ah, now he's got it. He's got the level 6, so he's got
They're
that Primal Roar. And yeah, Secret just don't want to risk a fight there.
I mean, they have this Hawk scouting out between the tier 1 and tier 2, and Mineski saw that, but the problem is that by it not seeing any single heroes, that they're absolutely afraid right now, and that's exactly what's happening. Plus, it's nighttime, so they know Night Stalker is likely to be aggressive right now. Interesting skill build out of him. He's even gone for a second
Bottom lane, Jules, he's going to get caught up. They're not going to follow through, though. I wondered if they were, because we saw Misery moving down as well, but didn't have the RP for a few seconds.
This could be Pi dying for sure.
Let's have a look. Cuckoo chasing it down there with the slow from the Spirit Lance. There we go. There's the second one. And Pylo die. Yeah, tried to turn around for a brain stab. Is it going to happen? That's going to be another kill there for Mineski.
Probably
not finding anything there.
Probably wouldn't have mattered if he brain sapped or not. So I
Radiant's
don't really
bottom
criticize him
tower
for
is
that. If he had a
under
teleport scroll, he would have been absolutely fine. But just a small thing that happens when you're looking around for heroes. He didn't really accomplish much down there, though. I guess he did find the Disruptor, but another smoke comes out. They've got Static Storm this time, though. And Night Stalker is still waiting top. In the meantime, Envy's farming only safe places, sitting in the jungle, things like that. But Puppey's 6 now. He can actually cover him if he does get ganked. So I think that's why Envy went to the jungle for a bit there.
Let's see if they can do this. Envy coming out. It's going to rely on Jesse getting the jump. The Static Storm's there straight away. And here they go, controlling Envy, stuck in the
gank.
storm. He's gone
Okay.
down. Sonic Wave, more like a Sonic slap to the face there for Jackie. He's down, and they may even look for more. Nighttime has been summoned.
the glimpse.
They'll get the glimpse on Misery. They could look for a second kill. He'll get the Steward back towards the tower. Puppey's there with the Raw to hold back. Nice dog up there. Again, she kinetic field trapping them both. They look for
Oh,
TP.
good
Misery
RP.
tries for the RP, but he's going to go down. They'll get 2 kills, Mineski. Puppey will escape. But Mineski finding a very favorable fight on the top lane.
Yeah, that was a really good gank by Mineski there. Just sending Jules in, the instant Static Storm. They didn't even mess around with like Night Stalker getting his silence off. They wanted the instant disable to prevent Envy from jumping out, and they got him. Huge kill. A bit of a waste from Queen of Pain. I don't think she needed to use her ult, but they wanted to be safe. They've spent a lot of time trying to kill Envy here, and that was 2 ganks basically. They wanted to guarantee that second one failed, so I don't falter too much.
Yeah, mech now complete here on the Darkseer. You look towards the PL. He's only a few hundred gold away from having that Diffusal as well for these fights.
That is absolutely going to be huge. It's actually a very dangerous thing to put Phantom Lancer mid. Not for the player or the team that's doing it, but
Look how
usually
well he's
for the
playing.
other opponents. Yeah, it's very consistent. It's hard to gank him because he has Doppelganger. He can really leverage the bottle he can harass your opponent. He can't AoE farm very well, and sometimes he gets a little zoned out. But against typical mid heroes like Queen of Pain, he can actually just Doppelgang to remove the dagger.
Oh, Puppey. They're going to chase him down. The slows there from the
TP.
Shadow Strike. Here's Jesse
Oh,
coming
good
around as
juking.
well. He's going for the juke. Is he going to make it? No, they found him with the vacuum. And Puppey will try and turn, but nothing he can do to survive here. And Mineski starting to run circles around Secret.
There
And
it
that's your
is.
defusal done.
And he's getting a lot more levels than you normally get as a PL, so you can maybe justify getting more skill points and less stat points. So it'll be a little bit better for his illusions, chasing down heroes and things like that. So this Diffusal Blade's going to do a lot, really. You can remove silences, you can remove some negative debuffs. There's the Shockwave, though. That's still the scary part, is the Empower. He's up to 40% now.
Yeah, that with an Ember Spirit in these fights where Cuckoo's got a fair few illusions out, they're going to have to be scared of Mineski. Mineski for the time, they're not scared at all. They're looking for more. They're smoking up from the top. Secret is going for Roshan there with the DD on Weeha. It looks like they'll get away with it here. I don't know if Mineski can get there in time.
They realize now. They saw Envy come out. It's a cool idea. They got the DD on Weeha, but will they kill it in time?
Oh, maybe they won't. The PL is right around the corner here.
Close.
Envy's incredibly low. The Spirit Lights, Envy's going to look for the TPI. It had to Remnant away because the fact the illusion was
So
about
low,
to kill
700
him.
HP.
Can they go in for the
Puppey's
steal?
low.
Look at him, he's looking for an RP.
Oh,
They
no.
draw the Sonic Wave. What's to do?
Who's gonna get it?
The kinetic field. They did manage to get it. Weeha
Weeha.
did pick up the Aegis, but they've already lost 2, and they might lose Weeha again in the full 5 man
Oh
of
my
Mineski.
gosh.
Down on Weeha. It's 3 down in the pit. And Secret again, just getting crushed by Mineski, who seemed to be making the right decisions every single time.
I think that was a Secret error more than it was Mineski. I mean, Mineski played amazing to smoke at that point, but they just assumed Secret was hanging around the mid tower. But as soon as they saw Envy down there, they knew they're trying to sneak a Roche, and they thought they could get away with it because of the DD on Weeha, but it just was not enough damage. Roche got so low, but then they were out because so many heroes had to stop attacking. Ember Spirit had to stop attacking, you know? And Puppey as well. Puppey got down to low HP. They were just asking for it at that point. If Mineski would have been really passive there, yeah, they would have been absolutely fine. They would have got the Roche. They would have got a big advantage. But that going to Mineski here is very, very dangerous.
I'm just looking at Cuckoo as well. So now he's got the 1200 on top of the Diffusal. If he gets another big item out, he's not died yet at all this game. And he's been playing very, very safely. Now they're going to look for Envy on this top lane here. If they can get the silence through for Jesse Vash, and straight away with the Remnant away.
If they had like a Quelling Blade or something like that, they could have gotten that kill, but they were just slightly too far away based on the tree's positioning to get that kill. Might get caught here.
They'd love to find Cuckoo. The Shackle isn't going to quite latch the
Haste
range.
activate.
They're chasing this all the way down. 3 of them, 4 of them, in fact.
He's fine. They can fight this. Oh wait, Pilot Eye. Is he going to get the grip? If he gets the grip, it's over.
He's out. And now there's TPs incoming from the side of Mineski. It doesn't look like they're going to try and turn. But again, drawing a lot of tension and a lot of time from Secret to that top lane.
Yeah, not the most dangerous thing, because if he did get Searing Chains, another thing you can do with Diffusal Blade is remove that from yourself. So he's got a lot of counters to Ember Spirit other than the cleave damage that's going to come from him later. So I would probably grab a Manta here. If he doesn't want a Manta and he'd rather just get a lot of HP, something like a Scotty would be good too.
Got Misery and Pilot Eye hanging around. Misery does, of course, have that RP back available. Jesse Vash hiding in the trees. And in fact, well,
just 2 enemies hanging out.
Not aware
in
of
the
each
trees.
other's presence here at the moment. And they're just exchanging.
I mean, they look like they could be friends. They both look pretty evil.
Oh.
Oh.
No, they don't sense anything.
Oh, he's going to see him now. Oh, he's in
okay.
perfect positioning. Jesse Vash, I can guarantee he's
Here we go.
TP, come.
Pilot Eye straight
Oh, he doesn't
in.
silence?
There
Why
will
is
be
he
breaks,
silence?
There'll be a nightmare.
What? Okay. All right, the glimpse comes. It's going to be all right.
Yeah, they've still got it. They catch him here in the kinetic field. And now Pilot Eye will go down.
That's
Get it.
exactly why you wait in the trees like that, because sometimes your opponents get into a position where it's as if you have a Blink Dagger. Like, yeah, maybe you waste a little bit of time, but then somebody passes you and it's the easiest gank ever. I don't know why he didn't silence. Maybe to save some mana here, because he doesn't want to go back to base, but they got the kill. Nice little pickup there. And now it's nighttime. Another reason that he was just waiting. He's like, it's daytime. I'm not going to do anything anyways. I might as well wait for the easiest gimp ever.
I mean, at the same time, Secret, some of them did smoke up around the bottom into the jungle. They were looking for Cuckoo, but he's just playing so elusively every time, just avoiding these rotations from Secret. Envy is starting to build on that Battle Fury, but we can already see Mineski getting ahead in terms of the net worth, and you never really want to be going up against a Phantom Lancer if he starts to get ahead of you.
They have the solution entirely, though.
They do have...
already so good at it.
Yeah.
It's basically like he has a Battle Fury right now because of having him power. And once he does get a Battle Fury, he's going to be doing 85% cleave. And that gives you full cleave on all those illusions. Like, if he ever uses Doppelganger, Cuckoo just kind of dies, is basically what happens. He's going to have to spawn illusions, send them at somebody, and walk away from them. And I think this is a great reason for him to level up Phantom Rush, which he's actually doing. He's got 2 points right now. And that's basically because Phantom Rush, it's an amazing skill, but most PLs don't justify leveling up because they just feel they need more HP, they need more agility for damage on their illusions. But because he has such a level advantage right now, I absolutely agree with this. He needs to spawn illusions and he needs to run away from them. Because every time that Envy uses Sleight of Fist, they're all going to take a stupid amount of damage, and him as well if he's in there. So spawn illusions, let them continuously chase down opponents on that 4-second Phantom Rush cooldown, and he can get away until those die, then resummon the illusions.
Oh, he was so close. He was on the right track there, Raya. He looked for the vacuum as he knew that Misery would blink back and TP, but it was just a little bit slow off the mark on it.
Oh, we all might catch someone. He's got a DD as well. Definitely has kill potential. Beastmaster is just going to go for the typical Necro build. Won't be seeing the fast blink or anything like that. The Necro would allow him to solo kill, so there's a lot of justification in that.
And of course, we're going to see Night Stalker start to work towards that Aghanim. It's not going to be the quickest of times, but as we just saw, Aghanim's, of course, done on your Wind Ranger. It's going to also be the next item by the looks of it for Raging Potato as he picks up his point booster.
There's a lot of good items on Mineski right now. Blink Dagger on Darkseer. There's a Glimmer Cape that Jules just got on the Disruptor. Going to be able to protect a lot of their heroes. A lot of Secret's damage is magical. It'll protect against Focus Fire as well if they don't have detection. They are smoked up, though.
I see them make a beeline forward. They've seen Jackie. They'd love to kill the Amber Spirit.
Oh, the Hawk took damage from Iron Shell. Will they notice?
There, straight away, Envy was out of there. Remnanting away, so maybe that was what kind of gave the indication for him to jump.
They also could have seen the Bounty Rune got picked up by Phantom Lancer as well. Another thing, if they have their camera there and they're watching, they can notice that happening. It would have been that or an invisible hero, so nice plays from Secret there. They're playing defensively enough.
On top lane, Weehar's going to be able to find the tower there with DZ. Bottom lane, looks like Mineski might look just for a trade, starting to put the pressure onto the tier 1 bottom. And also Raging Potato going to join them as well here and make his way across. And the line is drawn straight towards the tier 2, so maybe they just continue the push here and try and force Secret to fight.
Yeah, that's basically what they need to do. Secret definitely got the advantage in the last 2 minutes. They got a tower by themselves, so he was safe while they had other people farming. And they will initiate soon. He's got his Battle Fury ready.
And the air power, as we can see on there, but doing a fair bit.
See Vash in trouble.
And they found Paladai. Paladai's going to get silenced. Shackle will latch onto Vash. Misery, but there's the
Screw misses.
They get the Static on the kinetic field. It'll trap Weehar. The Roar's out onto the Queen of Pain. Misery caught in the midst of it all. They do get Fiends going to Jesse.
There's the RP, good RP.
But Misery's now down. It's a 1-for-1 at the moment because they did lose Raging Potato on the quad. Envy trying to do what he can with the Slight Fist.
Diffusal Blade. He's in trouble, no mana.
And he's out of luck as well. Ember's going to go down as a killing spree for Cuckoo on this Phantom Lancer. And they will succeed in the fight, and they may even be able to take the tier 2 again. Exactly the plan for Mineski. They've even got a clear. Puppy's being caught out.
He's in trouble.
The Lance is there. He's stuck in the field. Killing spree for Jesse Vash, and once again another pick off from Mineski.
They're playing so well right now. They have all the counters to deal with Secret, and Secret just did not fight that well. The initial Blink Skewer from Misery completely whiffed. Secret, they did grip the Night Stalker and they dodged out of the kinetic field, but that was it. At that point, you're escaping from a team that has a Disruptor, and there's just no salvation against that. And as soon as they drain Envy's mana, he's dead. He's in a really dangerous part right now. He's got the damage items he needs to scale, but he isn't at the point where he's just naturally leveled up a bunch of times and has something close to a 1,000 mana pool. If he runs out of mana, he dies. He can't use his jump anymore, and it costs 150 mana. It's very expensive, so Diffusal Blade right now completely counters him.
The fact that there's Greaves now done on this Darkseer, these fights are going to get harder and harder for the side of Secret. They need something big. They need a multi-man RP. They need to be the ones finding the setup and initiating, because time and time again, it's just Mineski smoking up, looking for the jumps. And even when Secret seem to be kind of ready for it, Mineski just play the engagements that little bit smarter.
Yeah, basically. In Secret's defense, if Mineski is using a lot of smokes now, that means they can't do it later. And in the late game, if Secret can drag this out until 40 to 50 minutes or so, then, like you said, if they just get a monster RP, he's going to Sleight of Fist once and everybody's going to die. It will happen at some point. So Mineski still has to be so vigilant that they don't get caught in that way. Because if they do, it's completely over, and everything they work for up until this point could just melt away.
And Envy's certainly keeping his game up. He may have died 3 times, but he's still top of the 1 times net worth top. They're going to go for the RP
Great
there.
Glimmer. That's going to keep him alive, I think.
Do they not have detection?
Got a glimpse back, highlight die.
Static somebody connect field onto 2. TPs will be coming through. They'll kill Jules. Can Mineski look for any kind of turn? It doesn't look like they will. So they do still get the kill. But it's a bit of a sloppy one from Secret.
Yeah, I think he made a slightly wrong choice there by going for... He could have glimpsed Bane. He had to glimpse Bane and silence the other heroes. Low chance he was going to live. It basically required Mineski to TP instantly. They TP'd in reaction to his good ulti, but that's too late. They have to be there for that. So, small miscommunication mistake. They should have maybe tried to cover him.
Okay, Envy just walking past Ryo there.
And Ryo walking past Envy. See you later.
At this point, it's all about what Misery can do with the team. Oh, Potato. He's found Pilot. He's going to go for the TP out here.
Wait, it's too late. Well, I mean, that looks cool. It's a waste of mana, but...
Come on, Pat.
It's beautiful, though. It's just...
Get it.
How does that even fly? I mean, it's not even Frisbee-like shape.
Oh, it missed.
Yeah.
Come on, step it up, Quap. And Puppy just continues to get levels up. He's level 11 now on this Beastmaster.
That's really good. He's been farming consistently this whole time, basically. All the times that Secret is doing aggressive plays, it's basically Wind Ranger far in front, Magnus sitting behind, and Bane sitting behind. They have very good ability of killing a single target, and they have very good ability of taking down like 3-man skirmishes. So in that entire meantime, Puppy farms. If we look at his net worth, he's sitting, what? He's not that amazingly high, but Beastmaster with just a little bit of farm is actually very strong. Once he gets a Necro 3, he can still solo kill people, especially heroes like Disruptor, maybe even Phantom Lancer. Queen of Pain definitely, although Queen of Pain actually has a ridiculous amount of mana, so there's a low chance of him burning through all of that, but him getting levels right now is really good for his team.
And we've got the Ags pretty much nearly being done for the side of Mineski, and it's just going to be illusion that they catch out here. Nothing else. Night Stalker just less than 250 gold away from his Ags, and Queen just under 650 away from her, so they're almost certainly going to be up by the time the next fight comes around, and going to make it that bit harder for Secret. And they've also got the gem picked up by Darkseer here for Mineski.
Yeah, but there is a blink now in Wind Ranger, so their catch is getting to be really strong. Any hero that isn't the tankiest person on Mineski could very easily just die. Especially if there's 2 heroes, anybody dies. Wind Ranger +1, anyone on Mineski dies. This is where things get scary because Secret basically only has to commit 2 heroes, and right now it's Bane and Wind Ranger. Whereas the other 3 heroes, they can farm, they can stack, they can go split push into other lanes. So it's scary for Mineski to passively farm. For them even to set up a gank against Wind Ranger, it could easily turn around and have them dying. So they've got to make really good decisions from here out.
There's a lot of money on this Ember Spirit, Envy, and he's going to invest straight up in the BKB. So I guess he does have the damage output from the Empower. Just keeping himself alive, as just getting a couple of sleight of fists out in these fights that's what's going to be important for Secret, really keeping the Ember alive.
It's basically protection against Disruptor ulti is the main thing. And as well, the Orchid. He could buy a Manta stop, but Manta doesn't cover him against Disruptor ult. And Manta doesn't help him that much against Diffusal Blade, because, yeah, you can mantle off the first Diffusal Blade, but he's just going to slow you again right after. So he basically has to get a BKB just to make sure that he's survivable against Disruptor ulti, because if he ever gets caught, dead. With BKB, he's got some solutions. So while it does slow his farm a bit, the HP is nice, and maybe a gank on him will come now, but he, again, still has that BKB.
I mean, Potato might be able to force out the BKB here, potentially, if he goes for the Orchid.
They don't even have stuns on their team, if you look at them. There's actually...
That's true.
Other than Vacuum. You got Vacuum.
It's all about the control with the Disruptor.
Stun.
The Darkseer into Disruptor really in these team fights, and obviously Jesse Vash with the Crippling Fear and the Void to lock someone down. But you're right, there's not a lot of interrupt.
There's not even like an immediate solution. Maybe they could get Bash around Phantom Lancer. It's not a terrible item now because your hero does a large amount of damage, but I don't even know if that's the solution. Jesse Vash almost breaking smoke. They spot Eternal Envy, but it's only Envy. Those illusions just died. That was incredible. This BKB was such a great pickup by Envy. He completely read the situation. They don't have a solution for it. The only solution is ignore Envy.
Oh,
get the kills, no
shackle.
shackle.
And he's going to be able to doppelganger right here, so Puppy's going to have trouble finding a Primal Roar onto someone.
Need to kill this Hawk. All right, Hawk's dead. Vision is way better from Mineski now. There's the glimpse back.
Bringing Puppy back into the kinetic field. They interrupt the Roar there with the Void, but now the Shackle will catch on to Jesse Vash towards the top.
Here comes
They're
the
looking
vacuum.
to try and bring it down.
Oh,
He's fairly tanky. They get the silence up to Weehaw. Sonic Wave as well, bringing him low. Envy's trying to move through, but the Guardian Cruiser being popped. He's stuck in the Static Storm, but there's your BKB coming out. Puppy's already going to go down. Envy will find the return onto Darkseer, but Weehaw falls as well. It's a 2 for 3, and Kuku's still trying to fight. BKB's still on Envy. There'll be the doppelganger trying to rearrange himself.
Oh, the damage, there it is.
There's your cleave damage.
He might die solo.
Gets Glimmer Cape just about the remnant.
Oh, it gets him.
Double kill. kill for Envy, he finds it, and now the slide, the change onto Jules. He may have lost 3, but Envy's doing his best to carry his team. I can't quite get the last hit onto Jules. He will get glitched
And the
back.
TP out with the
looks for the
gem.
TP away. Ends up as a 3 for 3 purge.
That was a really big fight for Secret there. That 10-second BKB felt like it lasted for way longer than 10 seconds.
Oh, is he?
Oh, that was close. I don't know if he would have killed him, but he would have got him low for sure. He could kill him right now. He doesn't have BKB.
Oh.
He doesn't have the mana pool though.
Okay.
So
yeah,
Envy's going to be all right.
Not enough for the Sonic. Okay.
What a good fight though. He basically killed the Phantom Lance. You saw it there. He used Doppelgang. Boom, Sleight of Fist comes. Goes down to 10% HP. Good attempt at the save there with the Glimmer Cape, but it just wasn't enough to keep him alive. And they lost the gem there, which means Night Stalker's really big vision advantage is going to be a little bit harder to control. Now, when he pops his ult, it still is going to reduce the advantage of Secret, or the vision advantage of Secret, but losing the gem is definitely a big loss. They're probably even still on cooldown here. No, they could buy another one, actually.
Okay, Paladar will be able to limit that one off. Raging Poseidon came through, but couldn't quite get the slow up. And also worth noting as well, that was a bit unfortunate de-warding attempt there. As Secret will be able to maintain their vision on the Radiant jungle. And of course the Disruptor now, the fact that there's a BKB, he's going for the Aghanims, and he's got to really, hasn't he?
Yeah, which area?
Of the Disruptor.
Yeah, exactly, because it's basically a counter again to the Black King bar, because it prevents you from activating items, so as long as he casts it before the BKB comes up, then no BKB will come unless he gets outside of that. And it also increases the duration. It's a really, really good Ags upgrade, frankly. But it's mainly about preventing the items. It's the BKB counter. He's also going to be limited a bit on mobility if he rushes Ags instead of getting something like a Blink, but luckily they have a Darkseer to compensate for that. He can make him run max movement speed with the Surge ability. So they have some options here. They just need to go do a little bit better in the next team fight. It wasn't an awful team fight for Mineski, but they would love to do better than they did.
We saw Mineski there maybe looking in towards the Roche pit, but they've got to be very careful doing that against this lineup with this Magnus, with his RP. Secret now will be able to get the D-Ward, get a bit more map control around the pit. Oh, MV.
He was just split pushing. He wasn't actually trying to attack 3 heroes. He's looking so scary though. I mean, he's got Empower, he's got Battle Fury, now he's getting a Crystallis. He could just get a little lucky on 8 illusions and people just start dying. It's so scary for Mineski. Envy's got to feel real good right now.
Yeah, he's certainly been playing this game really well as well. Just the net worth as well. We saw him get picked out earlier 3 times, but he's kept himself relevant and he's kept himself at the top. And this is, there's a lot invested on this Ember Spirit for the side of Secret.
Yeah.
A lot of weight on Jackie's shoulders.
I don't think it's that heavy though to hold this up.
At this point, yeah.
All he's got to do is press BKB before he gets Static Storm. That's the only thing that he's got to be afraid of here. Queen of Pain's making a BKB. I kind of wish she would just get a Hex, honestly. Because killing the Ember Spirit is just so hard. Yeah, it protects her from Shackle Shot, but she can still be RP'd with BKB. She can still be Fiend's Grip. She can still be Roared. There's 3 good ways for them to deal with her. The one thing that she's really countered by, though, is Searing Chains. So you can justify BKB in that sense, but man, they need some lockdown, and they need to start killing Jackie.
I mean, Envy next with this big influx of gold. I guess he just finishes off the Daedalus here for the Ember Spirit.
Yeah, that's definitely the straightforward way to go. And then afterwards, it's not crazy to go another damage item. Probably MKB for sure will be the next item since there is a bit of evasion on Phantom Lancer. He may be going for a Butterfly, but I think it's probably better to go tanky here. And I don't like Heart this game. I think he needs to continue to scale for damage, kind of. With the same thing said, if he ever gets a Doppelganger off and gets Sleight of Fist right after, he kind of also needs to be able to back off and heal. So it's a hard item choice here for Cuckoo.
And here we go. Secret, nicely timed with the smoke as well. Waited for the PL illusion to disappear, and then they go straight to work. Mineski themselves, they are making motions towards the pit smoked up, but it's not going to be quick enough. Secret have got more than enough damage. They'll take Roche. I don't think Mineski will necessarily want to try and fight this Secret. It looks like they're not going to give them the option to. They back up, hanging around by the Secret shop, maybe seeing if Mineski did continue with a smoke up there. But they're just going to head back to lane Mineski and not look to engage at this point.
Yeah, they're scouting with their Necro Archer, and they're just hoping to catch Ember Spirit if he ends up coming bottom, basically. That's the best thing they could do. Especially if he TPs to the lane, for example, they could... Well, I guess they can't even Static Storm still. They still don't have the Eggs on Disruptor. It's not like he's farming much. The only way he gets this is if they take a fight. the only way they win a fight is if he has an ag. So they're in this like weird conundrum right now where they don't really have any of the solutions. They need to get solo picks, and I don't even think they want to take a full team fight. And I don't even know if killing Ember is the hero. Go for anybody else. But same thing goes. Wind Ranger has a BKB now. Their draft really limited them once the BKBs came out, and I think they just didn't get quite enough out of the early game.
I would say it certainly gets to the point where Secret's looking very scary, and we can see in the net worth how any kind of early lead has now been negated. It's pretty much neck on neck between the two sides. And XP starting to swing over in favor of Secret. It's all going to be really down to this next fight when it does kick off. Who's going to be able to set the precedent and start to get that momentum really going their way. But as you've been saying, Purge, it certainly feels like Secret have already started to do that.
Disruptor backing off. Was that you?
Me?
Yeah.
It sounded like me, didn't it?
It did. Misery going
Was that
back.
you, Purge?
And yeah, it was me.
That was
you
you.
got me.
That
I was just trying
sounded
to
like
put it on you.
Well, 36 minutes in, 16 for 8. We saw a lot of action at the start, but Secret has certainly managed to slow it down, which is wow. Looking at the numbers,
Not
favoring their
anymore.
lineup.
It's time to ramp it
It's
up.
go time. We're looking for Potato. He gets the BKB out just in time. Ezra is a little bit slow there with an RP potential follow-up, so Potato will get himself out of this one. That's going to be the 10-second BKB now gone.
He was hoping for a rune to get full HP, but see, that's the issue with BKB. I guess if he had BKB there, he was perhaps dead, but they just really don't have the solutions. Maybe it was just a poor Orchid game, honestly, if you think about it. They already had a Night Stalker. Do you really need to protect or to have that counter against Ember Spirit when he's very likely to go either Manta or BKB? You could definitely
he's
criticize him
moving
for
in,
that.
we are, but geez, he has got the glimmer here. Got the gem in range, so it's going to be fine.
Here it comes.
Okay, Glimpse
BKB.
getting the static storm out, so we will be Glimmer caved up, and as you said, does still have the BKB here. And try and jump forward there. It's going to bring him pretty low. In fact, he might go down and lose the Aegis here, and he will. But as you said, just saving the BKB for the next fight. If it does continue, Secret's still hanging around here, ready to go. And Mineski want to bring it. But Mineski, it looks like they're going to leave it. They've got a bit of pressure going on the top lane from the Darks here, and the rest of them are just going to hang in the base.
That's Jackie TPing back up. He could basically stop the split push and show back up again. I'm sure he has a remnant down. Yeah, he does. Yeah, I think that's the main thing we can criticize Mineski for right now is the fast Orchid pickup. The problem is that Orchid builds up so much better in the early game for Queen of Pain, whereas if you go Hex, it's very expensive. You have to buy like a 2,000 gold item and another 2,000 gold item, but it would leave Mineski so much stronger right now. I'm not sure if they'd have the same position if she didn't have the Orchid, but I feel like she didn't get that much value out of the Orchid in the early game. It was useful in a couple team fights, but it may have been better to just go team fight with your team a lot, maybe go Hex, because they just have no solutions right now.
We're going to try and look for Weeha. Yeah, they'll force the BKB out. Weeha maybe looking to turn, did try for a shackle shot. Simply just going to get himself out of there.
It was the 10 seconds, so Orchid paid off in that way. And eventually, when those go down to 5s, the Orchid will be good again, but Envy just does so much damage now. Daedalus, Battle Fury, and
He's got
Power.
so much.
It's hitting for 300, and he's cleaving about 80% of that, so about 200. No, more than that. That's bad math.
Try and jump on him. They get the size, but there's your BKB, and now just use the sleight of fist. Try to
he's in
turn,
trouble.
and then RP from Misery. Beautiful leading in. They'll take down one. They'll get two. Double kill for Envy. And Secret stepping it up. Draws over the team of the Chains. They're there in time from Envy. They're going to get themselves a third. Triple kill for the Ember Spirit. And Secret finally turning up in style there on the bottom lane.
Yeah, that was a huge RP from Misery there, canceling a TP and guaranteeing the Queen of Pain kill. She was probably dead anyways because she had like 3 seconds left on Blink and she'd already used her Black King bar. And she only has 9 armor, you know. Envy is happy to hit her in a melee combat, so she initiated. Bad choice from her. They weren't going to kill Ember Spirit. Yeah, they're trying to waste BKB, so they just lost 3 heroes. Look at that.
Light damage, yeah. The cleave is too much for Kuka. Paladin will be there. Can they find the right one? There's the feast grip, but
Nope,
they lose the
wrong
roll.
grip.
They get unlucky again. They don't get the roll
Oh,
twice, and now
he's doing it.
He's looking for Paladin. They might get
Oh,
it.
they got him.
Will. So he gets out. Secret try their luck twice.
Okay.
They're going to try their luck again. Oh, 3 times unlucky here for
he's
the
in
boys.
trouble.
Now they'll try and move forward. Has he not
The
got double
evasion
game here for a
helps.
second? The shackle
No
shot,
shackle.
but the power shots off the mark. Weehaw! Oh, man.
It was a great dodge from Cuckoo there. As soon as he went out of night vision range, he went up. And that power shot
Literally dodged
definitely,
everything there, that PR.
Yeah, that power shot definitely would have killed him. Great item build thus far. The Talisman completely paying off there. The Wind Ranger wasn't able to kill him. And he is going to be going for a heart. He's all about the HP at this point. The only way to survive the slate, basically.
I mean, the thing is, though, when you, as you were saying earlier, going for the heart, you can turn around, survive, maybe kill a support, but in terms of killing the tankier heroes, he's still going to need that damage item. Like the butterfly complete.
Yeah, especially if they have things like RP. There's no hiding when you're stunned in a clump with your illusions and he sleight of fists you once. The heart doesn't counteract the cleave that Jackie's putting out. It's not scaling in any way equivalently. Like, that's the overpowered thing about Empower. It gives you 50% cleave. That cleave is pure damage. It's adding on what he already does. And the illusions just get so clumped that it's one of the hardest counters in the game.
Looking for Envy on the bottom, but again, just quick with these movements back. Playing very safely. And of course, with that MKB now, the Talisman, less of an issue here on this PL when Envy tries to fight. Although it was too much anyway. I mean, just with the Sly and the Cleave, already just seeing the PL melt when he's around his illusions.
They just have to have good team fights, and they have to initiate first. And they still don't have the solutions. Darkseer does have a Mystic Staff. Normally we see a Shiva's, but I think this has to be a Hex. It absolutely has to be. He's already got a Blink, so the initiation would be pretty good. They need hard disables right now. They need hard disables 10 minutes ago.
Secret, maybe looking to go. There's a oh, jeez! Now that cleave damage has sent Ryo packing. He's got to run away.
And that costs Jackie 50 mana, that's all.
It's pretty terrifying. DD and power, the amount of items he's got under his belt, it's going to do it. And Mineski are not going to want to come anywhere close to this push.
I like their
Secret.
move. Going for the on the top. Damage on Weehaw. Okay, he could actually die here.
Weehaw trying to turn with a focus fire, actually forcing Raging Potato back. So win range is going to be all right there.
I'm surprised they didn't follow up on that. All they have to do is keep them alive until the BKB ends, and then they could have killed them. Definitely dangerous, and they traded a BKB for a BKB, but I'd say Secret's BKBs are much more valuable, like we said, because it counters all their abilities. So maybe Mineski's game plan is get into little engagements, force them to pop BKB, get those down to 5 seconds. Even if it costs us 5 seconds BKB, they still have far better ultimate disables that go through that. So it's better to trade at this point those BKBs than it is for you to keep yours big. So at least they're making space in that avenue. Like Weehaw's BKB, 8 seconds now. Eternal Envy's, he's 8 seconds as well. So they're still pretty good, but after 2 more uses, they're going to be in bad territory.
A bit of an interesting choice of item pick up there from Puppey. He actually goes for the Veil here on the Beastmaster.
That's actually very weird. It synergizes with Power Shot, Fiend's Grip, Ember Spirit's magic damage, but Magnus, Shockwave, Skewer, very, very unusual item. I think it's a very good item, and I think there's a lot of synergistic approach, but this game, okay, thanks Pim. Pim Uncle reminding me, when you use Veil on Phantom Lancer, it shows you which one is the real one.
Yeah.
It makes them glow extra purple, so that is definitely the reason why.
Okay, so you're using it, because I mean, we saw already how they had trouble kind of discerning the real one from the fake one, so the Veil's certainly going to help that out.
I wonder if you can diffuse a blade off the buff, though. I feel like you might be able to. In which case, he's going to have to buy new diffusals.
I was going to say, how many charges has he got left?
He's got 3,
he's down to 3.
So he can upgrade it to the next one. It'll give him a buff of 15 agility, and then, 8 more charges. Diffusal Blade's very good right now. And there's the Hex for Queen of Pain. Okay, she sold the Orchid. Okay.
Okay, you're on board with that.
So I was like, she does not have that kind of money. She wasn't scaling well, but I think this is worth it. Sell the Orchid, get the Hex. This is exactly what they need here. And I am sure that Darkseer is going to do the same thing. He's very close, less than 500 gold, and he'll also have a Hex.
Well, Secret at the moment around the Roche pit, and they're going to go for Roshan. Mineski, they've got a few heroes around, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get there nearly in enough time as Secret just power down on the Brute, and they'll be able to get themselves the Aegis and, of course, that cheese as well. Now this next fight going to be even harder for Mineski to try and turn around. Paladin moving towards Vash. He'll get himself forced forward there by Misery.
They might have the moment of surprise, though, because he did sell his Orchid. He was nowhere near close to Hex. They could show it right now. They could kill Envy. If they get up here with like 2 or 3 heroes, okay, he leaves, never mind. They need to not show this Hex on Raging Potato, though. It's extremely important because Secret feels like we have the easiest game ever. Like, Disruptor still doesn't have Ags. They don't have any Hexes. Maybe Darkseer has one, but doesn't seem like he has one yet. If they show up, like show Darkseer on one side of the map, and then Queen +1 sets up a Hex gank on the other side, boom. Envy could die, especially because he doesn't have Aegis. He just has cheese. They only have 3.5 seconds, though. That's the other issue. They got to kill him in a very short amount of time.
Oh, he's got so much money again on in the Ember Spirit. And just look at the net worth difference. He's 10k higher than the highest hero on the side of Mineski.
That's that supercharge. First of all, Envy already farms really fast. Definitely one of the best carries in the world. And then you put Empower on him. It's just really, really mean. He gets farmed so fast with this.
And there we go. Secret very much ready to go on the aggressive. Still need to take down the tier 2 top, and we're going to see Envy boxing back there to get that creep wave going around. But this is it's getting to the point where it's going to be about the high ground defense from Mineski, and I mean, you look at Secret's lineup, and they've got all the tools that they need to try and break that defense.
Tower is under attack.
All right, they have definitely shown the Hex by now. There's a certain point where Queen of Pain can't just not farm, so I think she has reached it, and they're going to know that these exist. Now there's 2, which is really good for them. But they do have some defensive items. Glimmer Cape on Pylite Eye here. Puppy, nothing for him. So really just a Glimmer Cape is the only salvation they have other than using their skills. So the Hexes could pay off, but it's going to be so scary. A lot of times when you use a Hex on somebody that's vulnerable and you say, this is our only chance to kill them, you group up a little bit. And that's when the RP strikes, and then you've got 4 people in a group. So even with those attempts that they might have, they still have to be so careful. And it might, by them being careful, it might limit their damage a little bit, and that might mean that Ember Spirit doesn't die. And then they lose their opportunity anyway. So what is the best situation? The best situation is to kill him when he's by himself, obviously, but you don't always get that. So it becomes so hard here for Mineski to do this perfectly. There's so many factors they have to remember.
Not something that we see all the time, but something else that's going to make it even harder to kill Envy. Going for that butterfly here on the Ember Spirit that's now complete.
That is a rare Ember Spirit item, but I like it a lot, basically, because it's going to force Phantom Lancer to, rather than build stats, he's going to have to get an MKB. Not something he really wants to do. It's not terrible on Phantom Lancer, but it does pretty much, it does nothing for his illusions. It just makes his hero stronger. It allows his illusions to hit through True Strike as well. So that's one thing it does. It basically counters the Butterfly's evasion, but makes Ember Spirit much harder to hit, gives him a lot of attack speed, makes him better in a 1v1 fight. Means that Queen of Pain's going to miss most of the time as well. It's going to definitely limit the amount of damage they can do in a short period of time. So even in these Hex ganks, it'll help a lot. Think I didn't hear that?
The Disruptor.
Radiant's
You think I didn't hear that one?
Yeah, what one? That wasn't me!
All right,
It's the hero!
maybe it's Pimp or something.
Pimp.
Someone's messing with us.
Disruptor's closing in on his Aghanims. In fact, he's selling stuff to make sure he's going to have the gold. So 25 gold time, they will have that Aghanims upgraded Static Storm. But as you said, if he can get out the BKBs beforehand or don't get trapped in by the kinetic field, it's not going to mean that much. So Mineski are going to have to hope for the wombo combo of their life. It's just the fact that at the same time, Secret are going to be looking for their own. It's going to be a little easier for them. So there's your Aghs. Let's see if they can do it here on the defense.
They need a smoke or something because they need to approach this, and yeah, they're just one of the best ways to defend, especially if they have a Beastmaster Hawk. They're going to be able to see you most likely. And it's pretty clearly daytime. Daytime just started, so this is how Secret wants to do it. Here it comes.
They get it, but already the
he got it down.
Oh,
it doesn't catch him.
Gone. He's dead for 57 seconds, taking off the Static Storm here, but the BKBs are out for Reggie.
They're low. They have to do this.
There'll be a nightmare there. RP comes out. Weehar's incredibly low. He's got to run.
Oh, the grip Pi is so low.
Pi's going to survive. It's a double kill for the Bane here. And Secret lose nothing, and Envy's looking to maybe move forward for more. He drops down an aggressive Remnant. Isn't going to go to it. Focusing here on the tower. Fortification now coming out from Mineski. But there's 70 seconds on the clock. And then Misery bringing Jesse Vash back in with a skewer. Weehar with a focus fire, taking down the Night Stalker. And that's a third hero down on Mineski without buyback. And now the racks are exposed. They'll look for the vacuum cap, so they do get it. But Envy just turns with the sleight of fist. And now he actually remnanting to dodge the lance. Thrown out by Cuckoo. Throws down another. Has to pop the BKB because of the illusion, bringing down his mana. Cuckoo incredibly low. Weehar, look at this man. He's going for it. He's going to get it nearly. And Cuckoo will doppelganger back. They're still trying to find the kill. Can he get the last hit with the power shot? It's going to be on the point, but the regen is there. Weehar needs to be careful. We'll lose the Aegis. But Secret do find the Rex there on the bottom lane. Maybe looking to try for more. Weehar's going to get hexed up straight away. They got the Spirit Lance down. Cuckoo has he got the damage, and he just hasn't. Weehar's going to be fine. Jackal gets thrown back. They're looking for a focus fire. Weehar's actually blinked in to look for the fight. There's his defusal play, but he gets 4-starred back here. Weehar Glimmer Caped up as well. Is going to be okay.
Glimpse in 7, and they've got Static Storm up again.
But again, the blink's there.
They just need a little bit of mobility. Jules really needs to get searched here.
Blink forward and surge
The
him.
vision, who are they going to get? Can they get Envy here? Yes, they can. They cancel the TP. Can they kill him?
Oh, the
Standing
big ult.
Storm down. Envy, is he going to fall? He might just, and he will. Down for 100 seconds. And now we are walking back. He's going to get Hex. Mineski looking for the turnaround. They're going to try and chase this here. There'll be the Force getting Weehar away. Also Blink
got
out
nice
from
hustle.
Misery. Can they chase this one down here? Pylai die right on
So
the edge of the
fast.
vision. Can
Oh,
they
he
get
didn't get
Weehar
the
though?
glimpse. He casted the animation, but it didn't go through because his Thunderstrike just ended. That definitely would have been a Wind Ranger kill. Instead, they can grab Pylai die. Not the worst. Do they have detection? They do. They put a
Got the
sentry down.
Glimpsing him back here into the field. They'll take down the Bane. They do lose the Rax, but they do find kills off the back of it, and they do manage to get that high priority Ember Spirit kill.
That wasn't all bad. It looks really bad for them. I mean, Secret got slightly lucky. It looked like there was a crit on Jules when the Sleight of Fist came through as he was ulting, and he wasn't able to catch Ember Spirit. If he caught him in that Static Storm, it would have been absolutely huge for Mineski, and they had to go for it. They got everybody so low, and unfortunately, it didn't look good. But because of that slight overdive from Weehaw, they got him close to the fountain, and it was easy to keep him there.
I mean, Weehaw was
Glimpses and things
so
like that.
aggressive.
Yeah, and they didn't want to kill him at first either because they're like, we're out of position. If we kill you now, you're going to blink aggressively with full HP, and then we just die. So they didn't feel comfortable killing him until they're all the way into the safety of their fountain, where he kept him in there. But it was a little too aggressive from Weehaw, and because of the Disruptor, they could punish that retreat, and they got a lot of important kills. So losing a Rax for that kind of gold exchange, I think it's okay. If you look at the net worth now, you know, they're about 2,000 gold higher than they were 10 minutes ago. They might get their next items, and they have the items that they need to turn fights now.
I mean, yeah, exactly as you said. We saw it already with the Quap and the Darkseid. The fact that they've both got the Cypher Vices, just fighting back into the aggression from Secret when the BKBs are gone. You've got the chase down potential from the Night Stalker and the Disruptor. Secret have to be very careful how they disengage because Mineski, they're going to chase you out their base every time.
Yeah, it's almost nighttime as well. They're checking for obvious observer wards. We'll see if the Night Stalker finds one in his base. Ah, he doesn't get it. It won't be that big of a deal right now, but when it comes to high ground, it will be. So we'll see if that impacts things. They'll be looking for wards until it's night. Once it's night, then the aggression comes. They're going to try to get a kill with that.
Highlight, glimmering up.
Potato might get
Has
caught.
got the Fiend's Grip here. If he can get it off, they'll get the chains out, but the BKB popped straight away by Quap. Doesn't want to risk being caught out by the Bane with his Fiend's Grip.
He is on 5 seconds now. More importantly, to get the follow-up. Yeah, he just wanted to remove the Searing Chain so he could escape him.
They get the Hex on Envy, but he gets forced out of the Sonic Wave, so he'll be fine. Static Storm's being dropped in the middle, but
Big
he doesn't
RP.
trap anyone.
The cleave
Extra
damage.
RP. The right clicks from Envy as well. They'll bring down the Disruptor. He's looking for more. Trying to get Cuckoo. Post the Mana Stone. Can't get out. Focus Fires there. It's a double kill for Envy. The cleave bringing Rylo as well. And at the same time, back by the wall, they'll also take down the Night Stalker there, Pylai Die Misery. So again, finding 3 kills. Mineski, they do have buybacks and they're going to use it. They're going to get the PL back in the game straight away. But Night Stalker and Disruptor are down, and they don't have this Static Storm for the fight. Envy, rinsing into the base.
And this ward's up too, so it's giving vision. That fight just did not go perfectly. They have to be the aggressors, but they didn't quite catch Secret right. And there's a Force Staff on Bane as well. The Quap ulti was wasted. They used it on creeps.
Oh,
Who get in trouble?
Cuckoo, if he goes down now, they're looking to set up a shackle,
Oh,
and they
what a
will.
shackle.
It's going to
Stretch
get
it
the
out.
PL and the Quap. PL is going to go down as well. Killing spree for Weeheart and Envy. And that is GG. Secret may have suffered in the early game, but they took it to the later portions, and they just played a hell of a lot better.
Yeah, that the PL pick definitely threw Secret a bit for a loop, but they said, screw it, we're going to play support Beastmaster. Puppy knows that he can handle it, and he played just fine. The important part was, again, their aggressive trialing went so well, and Misery was able to get so much farm in the safe lane, so it transitioned into having that overpowered empower stuff, and there's nothing they could do to slow it down.
I mean, we certainly can't say that Mineski didn't put up a fight.
They
It ends
really
up
did.
19-19 on the scoreboard. It was just the later decisions that Secret made were that little bit better, and Mineski weren't able to quite bring it through. Maybe they stepped it out earlier. We saw the stat come up with the PL win rate. The fact is 50% ending between 30 and 40 minutes. It's down to 35% win rate when it goes later than 40 minutes, and that's going to be another game adding to that stats. But indeed, Secret will take game 1, and we'll be right back with game 2. But for the time being, straight back to Red Eye on the panel.
Thank you very much to Odie Pixel there. And wow, what a first game. It looked like Mineski had the edge early on. Gentlemen, what do you think? Did it go pretty much as we already talked about? The fact that we thought Mineski would try and take this early or take the fight to Secret at the very least, but then, you know, Secret would come back into it?
I mean,
Interestingly, do you want to go first?
sure. I mean, that happened, and I was surprised by how successful they were for the longest time, up until the point where Eternal Envy decided, I'm done.
I'm done messing around.
Yeah, we can start fighting for real. And so, not surprisingly, Secret won, but I was surprised by how well Mineski put up a fight.
Okay, Ben?
I think the Roshan was kind of a Mineski's downfall. They had the Night Stalker with the Ags, but they weren't able to control the pit at all. I think if they didn't have that Roshan, or if Mineski, took a big fight and were able to take Roshan, they probably would have ended up winning the game.
The important thing for me was when Envy got the BKB on the Ember Spirit. It allowed them to play very differently. The main counters that Mineski drafted against the Ember were silences, and you just get a BKB and you counter all of them out with one click. So by that point, they had the guarantee that Envy could dish out damage in fights, and that's what was holding Secret back earlier on, was that he was constantly pressured out of fights and couldn't engage because of Disruptor and Night Stalker.
And the Hexes came out a little bit too late.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a look at the highlights from the game. The early part of the game was with Mineski, and at this point, they were doing well.
Yeah, Mineski actually contests this one, but Secret ends up getting, I think, the Roche as well as the Aegis, although they suffer very heavily. It's a rare punish for Team Secret, and then this was pretty good by Mineski. I think they actually utilized Night Stalker the best of most of the teams that I've seen this tournament.
Dire's bottom tower has
At this
fallen.
point, they're 10-3 up. They're ahead in XP, ahead in gold. Everything was working well for them, but
Misery is having a bit of a hard early game with the Magnus. Wasn't really until the later stages of the game that we really saw the effectiveness. But again, this whole empowering their carry seems to work really well for Secret. It's their go-to strategy when they really want to win.
I feel like we didn't get to see Darkseer have the effect I was imagining when I looked at Mineski's draft. I never really saw a very good vacuum into Static Storm.
This was the fight that really turned the game around, because I think they actually took the gem from Mineski at this point, and yeah, they were really scared of the Blink RP before they got their BKBs, and they weren't able to dish any damage. It was like an isolated Beastmaster at the beginning of the fight, and Envy does a really good job of cleaving it down. Like, watch this Sleight of Fist, it just destroys the Phantom Lancer. And nice jump by him, and I think it ends up being like a relatively even fray, 3 for 3, but with a gem exchange, it's definitely in favor of Secret, because that's what you need as a Night Stalker to control the entire map.
Would you agree, though, that the Darkseer didn't ever really combo very well?
They didn't combo with the Disruptor as well as I hoped they would.
They missed a couple of Static Storm.
This is one of the biggest RPs.
Kinetic fields. Yeah. There's a vacuum there, it doesn't really do anything. It isn't easy to pull off, to be fair, the vacuum static field kinetic storm, but it felt like they were always casting their spells at different times. They weren't actually trying to land the combo, but rather just do their own spells. Also didn't really see Sonic Wave synergize very well with the vacuum either. And you need to do that when you're playing against a lineup like Secret's. I feel like Secret were positioning on occasion in ways that would allow Mineski to pull the combo up. Just didn't happen.
and the final GG's.
Once BKBs come out, actually Secret became a lot stronger because then they didn't position as well against the RP because they're like, oh, we're okay. We have magic immunity, but then they just get cleaved down.
So, game 2. What did Mineski change up?
I don't know. I think their draft was actually really good. If they panic and they're like, oh, we have to change this and this and this, then I think it's going to go worse. Stick to their guns and just play it a bit better.
Okay. What about from Secret's point of view? They must be very pleased. Obviously, it's gone their way, but they'll be a little worried about being, pressured early on, won't they?
I would have, yeah, exactly. I would have been a bit rattled if I was probably considering how far behind they were in the early game, and that this could have gone terribly wrong for them had it not been for some misplays or lack of team play on Mineski's side. So I would probably not underestimate the early game as much as he did. That Beastmaster pick was, of course, fairly greedy in comparison to so many other supports.
And Eternal Envy on the Ember Spirit. Good game from him in the end. I mean, very quiet early on, but that's the mark of a good player, isn't it? When you're kind of getting out of the game, you're not in the game to wait and be patient and go for it.
Well, he knows he's going to scale like way more than the Phantom Lancer because he has Battle Fury and Empower, almost 100% cleave, and then it's just way too much for the Phantom Lancer to deal with because as he gets more items, he creates more illusions, and then he takes more damage.
But I'm just, it's the difference sometimes, isn't it, between watching these great players and watching players that you just play with on a regular basis, or certainly with players I play with anyway, and you watch them and they just go to pieces early on a hero like Ember Spirit, and you think, this can't be much of a hero. when it's played by a player like Eternal Envy, it just seems to have that kind of wherewithal that he knows it's going to scale, he knows it's going to come back to him at some point. I think it's.
I mean, the
great to
winning
watch.
winner bracket teams so far, EG, Secret, and of course Aggressive as well. The carry players are just really
CDC.
outstanding.
He's a whole team by himself.
I mean, he almost is. But yeah, so like the Ember Spirit we saw yesterday was amazing, and I think Artesia has been putting up some really good games on his carry, especially through the group stages as well. So I'm very impressed by the level of the carry players, especially in this tournament.
And of course, they're not great carry players without their support either. And the support's been pretty spot on as well. I mean, selfless in a way. I mean, Misery again has had another 0 game, but again on Magnus, he had one on the group stage as well, which was a poor game in terms of statistics. But it doesn't really tell the whole story, does it?
Well, he's a bit up and down. Like in the same game, he can have a really shabby start, and then he can come back into the game and land some very crucial stunts and so forth. So he's not as convincing as he's been in some of the other tournaments. I feel like MLG, for instance, he was really the stalwart of the team. He made all the plays happen. He played an outstanding Slardar throughout the tournament. This one, he's a bit back and forth.
And the score doesn't tell everything. If you got
No.
kills for Empower kills, you'd be, 5 and whatever.
As you could see in the secret booths right now, they are getting ready for the draft of Game 2. Puppy just discussing some bits and pieces with Misery right now. I wonder what they're talking about.
I mean, the key heroes for me for each team, I think, were Magnus, actually, just purely for the Empower for Team Secret, because the Ember could have been exchanged for an anti-mage, let's say. And then on Mineski's side, I think the Night Stalker was really crucial for them to be able to control that mid game very well. So those are the heroes that I'd be looking at to see, do we want to let it through? How do we want to deal with it next game if we don't ban it?
I do think that the drafting stage in itself was interesting. The fact that Undying and Shadow Fiend were untouched. From two teams that both plays the heroes, is like Mineski especially, plays the Undying a lot, and we've seen Secret pick up the Shadow Fiend as well, so it's a bit puzzling.
What do Mineski discuss now while they're away from the booth? What do they talk about?
I honestly can't tell you. Like, I'm with Trolls on this. I think they should stick with their guns and just play better.
Grabbing Undying, I think, would be a good choice. And you could say after that first game, you're like, maybe we should ban the Ember Spirit because he was a big problem for us. And it's tempting. But at the same time, if Secret really want to first pick that hero, you get a lot of information out of it. Like, I felt like Mineski had a good draft in that game. And a big part of the reason why they got such a favorable draft was that they knew 2 cores in phase 1. I think it's actually a pretty clear weakness, but Secret has so much confidence in their ability that they could pull it off.
I'm a bit hesitant for them to pick the Undying, actually, because I think that Secret will handle it the same way EG did, as just split push and wait until the later game, where I think that Secret completely outclassed Mineski.
But can't Mineski play it with a hardcore late gamer? They do play Anti-Mage, for example.
I think so. But at the same time, Secret also have better Roshan control. So even if it's equal late game in terms of heroes, in terms of...
Undying Night Stalker and Anti-Mage.
Put all 3 in.
That being said, Secret probably arguably have the better late game experience as well, so their decision making is probably going to favor them a lot. So if we're to assume that the late game potential are equal, it'll go in the favor of Team Secret, and I think Mineski knows that. I mean, Bimbo seemed to have a lot of respect for Team Secret.
I'm curious what you think if, let's say Mineski loses this like we all expected. You said 2-1, we said 2-0. If Mineski lose, I think they're a top 8 team based on their play so far. They would beat their next opponent. Do you think, who can they meet if they lose?
We will have a look at the bracket. So when they drop down, they're going to meet either, and I can't guarantee which way around this is, but it will be either Alliance or OG.
I would consider them favored against either, I think. So,
Yeah, but how
so that's a
they've
great
been
surprise
playing so
regardless.
far. That being said, Alliance and OG might also pick up some steam now and actually start playing better. We saw Alliance yesterday. I thought they played a lot better than they
It's
did.
just really easy, isn't it, for Jacob? You just start playing better.
Mineski draft the same, play better.
Come on now. In this tournament, you expect all the teams to perform at their best, and I think it's safe to say that Alliance did not do so in the group stages. And at the same time, OG probably disappointed a bit more than we'd expect them to. They won against Fnatic yesterday, fairly convincingly as well. I think when we go into a best-of-3 scenario, I think both of these teams will actually be a lot harder than you would give them credit for after you saw their group stage performance.
I think actually thinking about it, it can't be Alliance because they played them in the group stage. So I think it would have to be OG at this stage. I think, anyway. But
I don't know if they're the
there's me bracketizing.
That sounds right.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, it's pretty close. But they have been putting up some really, really good games.
We'll have to find out. They're not out of yet, of course. We're running them off, but they're not actually out. Not yet.
After that game but one and then being down 0-1 against Secret, I think they have a very little chance of winning 2 games in a row.
Why? Why?
Sin just always wears the no hat.
He does. We're into the draft for game number 2. Team Secret up by 1-0.
Why do Secret have a time penalty now? Is this some sort of new rule? Do you just...
No, so I actually know this one. Team Secret brought their gear from the practice area one of the days, which is not allowed.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure, unless they got another penalty for something else.
Okay. All right, they do ban the Ember.
There is like a high level of security regarding all of this because of what is at stake, so I think it's only fair that these things are being enforced.
Yeah, for sure. I'm just wondering if Mineski did the same thing in game 1.
I think it was the bags, man.
As the Ducks here again.
Team Secret.
This went pretty fast. Okay.
Is that almost identical bans? Almost.
They banned out Ember.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did they ban in game 1 instead of Ember?
SF?
No.
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 Not SF?
No. It was.
They banned the Slaughter and Secret banned the Shadow Priest.
Dazzle.
Yes,
That's
there was
right.
Dazzle
Yep.
early. There was Dazzle in first phase.
So I'm just thinking right now, based on what we've seen from Secret in general so far in this tournament, Envy has played Doom, Ember, and Anti-Mage exclusively, or has it one game on another hero? Because 2 of them are banned already, so Mineski might just be targeting him full out, knowing that they can
Played
ban
Wraith
AM
King.
second phase. He played Wraith King? Okay.
So Melina has been talking a lot about this Roshan control, and one of the things about Secret is, and one of the things about a lot of these teams here that are performing exceptionally well, are that they love playing the Dire side. And it's I would love to see the winning percentage of Dire against Radiant, because it does seem heavily favored towards Dire.
I think in this version, in competitive Dota, there was a very high win rate for Radiant, but I don't know if it's the case for this tournament, which would be really interesting if it's not, because I remember it being so significant that people were starting to talk about nerfing Radiant. I think it was something like 55% win rate for Radiant in all competitive games in 685, something like that. Could be wrong on that, but I do agree, though. I think the Dire Roshan advantage is pretty crucial, and if the teams are starting to figure out how to deal with the Radiant lane advantage, then Roshan definitely means more past minute 20 than Radiant's advantage is too.
5 seconds remaining.
Good A. They're going to ban Huskar again, Secret. No chances to.
I'm actually not that surprised to see them take Night Stalker in the first phase. I don't think they picked it at all during the group stage, but I think that's one of Mineski's
10 seconds remaining.
biggest weapons.
Yeah. So when Secret play Night Stalker, do they ever put it off lane, or is it always Pilot Eye playing it? I don't think Puppy plays this hero. I don't recall
Misery's played it.
ever
Sure.
seeing it on
He
him
played it before Slardar got super popular.
before it was cool.
Yeah. So what other strategies do Mineski have?
There we go.
Radiant's
Sometimes they
team
run the AUK, although not very successfully.
So now it's probably an Envy Quap, I guess. He also loves that
They
hero.
have played some safe lane Shadowfiend,
Yeah, they play it either way.
Okay.
but I would agree with you. I think
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I think it's interesting to see these teams draft Darkseer Wyvern as the opener. We've seen it in a lot of games.
Reserve time.
And I feel like there are very few moments in games where you're just like, wow, there was that vacuum Winter's Curse combo. But perhaps it's also just half of it is about the threat that the enemy team can't position like they want because they always need to be wary of it. At the same time, you're already wary of Darkseer alone.
Yeah, both heroes are very strong at their position as well, and if we look at Mineski's offlaner, the only two heroes he's been playing throughout the tournament is Slardar and Darkseer. So it might also be about being comfortable.
Yeah. Oh, I'm never going to question a first phase Darkseer pick in this version, I think. It's always... It's so flexible.
Oh, you by chance going to see Wisp Tiny?
I like the combination of playing a carry that's good at split pushing together with Darkseer, because Darkseer will always be shoving the one lane with Ion Shells, and then you have a carry in the other lane. They could even consider going for the Anti-Mage that we were talking about earlier, also to steal it away. Secret won't run that with this. That's too much, isn't it?
We've seen weirder things, and
They're definitely taking their time here. Maybe they did want the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, if you look at what Benton picked right now, Imbo's played hero pool so far is down to a Wind Ranger. With the TA ban and Shadow Fiend being picked up, Ember Spirit ban.
It's a pretty good Wind Ranger game. Yeah,
There we go.
nice.
Team Secret's turn to pick. Radiant team pick.
This time around, I like Secret's draft a lot more against Mineski's than in the last game. I think they have all the tools they need right now to make this work.
Oh yeah, it's a really strong lineup.
so are we looking at Safe Lane Queen over Safe Lane Shadow Fiend?
Yeah.
I think so. Make the most sense. I think Team Secret should be looking at banning out the Anti-Mages for their last one.
If Mineski wanted, they'll pick it now. Secret has shown so much of their hand. This has got to be a Safe Lane Queen of Pain, a support Dazzle, obviously. And then Night Stalker could still be a support. That's the only one that isn't given. Or...
You pick up the Undying, so only the carry remains. He does play all of the carries, more or less. You can go for a Gyrocopter or even a Juggernaut.
This also sets up well into the Anti-Mage if they want to go for it still. It's what we were talking about before the draft even began, that Mineski can try to play this very heavy aggression, but also ensure their late game this time around.
5 seconds remaining.
Undying is one of the best heroes at enabling an Anti-Mage, because it's very difficult to challenge into, so AM will be farming. And if you don't challenge into it, he's also great at pressuring the enemy's safe lane and taking towers early just to open up the map.
But looking at the Mineski lineup, if you're Secret right now, do you fear a Gyrocopter more than an Anti-Mage? Just through the sheer synergy with the lineup?
You fear a PL?
Radiant
It seems.
team back.
Or they go all in on greed and they grab the AM now, and then they play an offlane Queen of Pain with Dazzle, Night Stalker as the supports.
I think
It's pretty greedy though.
by what Mineski said, how they wanted to go in their face at all times, I think Gyrocopter is a lot better pickup than the Anti-Mage. Instead of trying to contest Secret for the late game, just go for this all-out early game pressure. The same way we saw Alliance do yesterday up against Cloud9.
10 seconds.
Darrow's definitely good.
remaining.
Here.
5 seconds remaining.
They could also consider, I think this is, you need to go back a little bit, but there was a phase when Mineski actually really liked playing Spectre. That is a possible pick in this game. Secret has very limited potential, I feel, for pressuring her out of lane. But it does put a lot of pressure on the other heroes to be able to win fights while she farms. And I could see them do that with this lineup.
Yeah, I think with that, either Spectre or AM, they can feel pretty comfortable in their late game and play it at a much slower pace they did last game, although that doesn't necessarily suit their style. But it's still nice to have that comfort. We have better late game.
Doesn't suit their style
10
and leaves more room
seconds
for error.
remaining.
The longer the game goes, the more mistakes can happen.
But at the same time,
5
Secret have like
seconds
really
remaining.
strong lanes right now.
Oh, I don't know. Great reset.
Radiant team pick.
They do go for the Anti-Mage.
Okay, lineups are locked. Time for game 2 of Team Secret versus Mineski.
Indeed, thank you very much, Paul. We're ready to get ourselves into game 2 between Team Secret and Mineski, and the drafts are out. Final pick, Tidehunter.
I
Talk to me
love
about it, Kevin.
Tidehunter. He's so much fun. He has tons of cosmetics, because that's all I care about. But great teamfight hero. He has a spell called Ravage. It stuns pretty much everyone in the fight. So what's probably going to happen, especially with the anti-mage pick on Mineski, is they're just not going to want to fight that often. So they need to give themselves a little bit of space. They need to make sure Tidehunter doesn't get the fastest 6, and then they should be okay for a while. But even with that said, Secret can still farm very fast with Shadow Fiend and Queen of Pain. And they also have pretty good anti-mage gank options with Queen of Pain and the Night Stalker. So it might be a little hard for Cuckoo to stay alive on anti-mage. We'll see.
Okay, I mean, in terms of the lineups, we're seeing some stuff again. Obviously, the fact that Mineski, they really prioritized that Darkseer pick. They get it first. And Ryo, in the first game, he did a good job at farming, but there never really was the opportunity to find a good kind of 5-man vacuum wall against Secret because they just played so well around the team fight.
Yeah, they did. And it also had to do with the stages of the game that they're in. In the early game, Mineski wanted to get a lot of ganks off and be aggressive. But in the mid game, when they had no stuns to lock down the Black King Bard Ember Spirit, then they didn't want to fight. So I think that's just a natural progression of the dodging that happened a lot during the game.
Here we go.
See if he can do it this game.
And I mean, in terms of dodging the fight last game, this time with a Tidehunter, you think they'll be looking for more fights in the mid-game, Secret?
Secret definitely will be. Mineski may be as well, but it's much more likely that there'll be 4-man engagements while anti-mage is somewhere else. Or there'll be fights somewhere where an anti-mage could show up to, TP to a tower, and then join the engagement. Tidehunter offlane versus an anti-mage, though, it's not really a good situation because while he can deny anti-mage's farming, anti-mage will drain his mana, and then Tide is basically just like a walking, damage blocking, mana-less hero. And he is going to have these mangoes, which will help, but there's possibilities that the supports could just leave anti-mage in a 1v1 at some point when he has the level advantage over Tide and not really have any threat there.
Looks like Secret were looking to get the bottom room, but realizing that Mineski are there, not really wanting to go into a fight. Head up towards the top, Highlight Die. It's forcing Darkseer away from any chance of sneaking in that rune.
The battle begins.
Looks like they'll both go the respective ways. And in terms of the lane matchups, as you said, starting off, you can imagine that we're going to see a lot of backup for the anti-mage down there, and then the rotations will come out from Mineski's lineup?
Yes, most likely, because again, anti-mage can just solo versus Tidehunter so easily. It looks like Winter Wyvern will probably be the zoner. This makes sense because Undyne is a lot better at harassing. Obviously, Arctic Burn is really good, but the cooldown is so long that you're kind of limited every 50 seconds. So we'll just probably see a little bit of trading going on between Undyne and the Night Stalker and some attempt at reducing the Shadow Fiend's farm.
And we'll indeed see Raging Potato, of course, this time on the Wind Ranger as opposed to Weehaw himself, who was on it in the game 1. And bottom lane, Cuckoo, taking a fair bit of harassment, didn't skill that blink first, went for the mana break, the more aggressive point to take at this stage, so we can trade hits here with the opponents.
And one really good thing that Secret has here is a Dazzle versus an Anti-Mage. It's by far one of the best support counters, at least in the early game. In the late game, it's a little bit more iffy, but in this stage, Shadow Wave does physical damage, and you can basically heal the creeps, which does damage in an AoE around them. So every time Anti-Mage comes up for a last hit, you cast a spell. And that's why Cuckoo lost so much HP there, because Shadow Wave does so much. So he has to be so careful. There it is again. Went for a last hit. The Shadow Wave from Dazzle, and Puppy is just pressuring the crap out of this dual lane.
I mean, and they need to do this as well, because if Cuckoo gets ahead, if he gets a good timing on the Manta Star, you look at Secret's lineup in terms of stuns, and they're pretty much relying on the Ravage at the later portions to catch out the Anti-Mage.
Yeah, it's basically going to be a repeat of what we had last game. But Dazzle's putting so much pressure here on AM that I think things are going really well for Secret, and it's also guaranteeing that Tidehunter gets some experience.
Indeed, time and time again, Cuckoo just getting incredibly low. Down to the final tango and a salve. He's of course got Jules backing him up there on that Wyvern, and still just level 1 at 2. We might see him get that point in the Cold Embrace so we can allow the Anti-Mage to stick around and farm topped up. And so the top lane matchup, one that we haven't really talked about, but the Darkseer going up against this Queen of Pain. Expect both heroes to do all right here?
Yeah. Pretty easy for Darkseer to get last hits. Eternal Envy on the Queen of Pain likely won't take that much damage from the Ion Shell. So Ryo can do a couple tricky things as Darkseers always can, like getting extra farm, but with Pylight Eye shifting up here, it should be an advantage that goes back to Envy now. Although, have you seen much Envy Quap?
It's definitely not one of the ones that he normally goes for. The fact that they picked up both the Quap and the Asset, it's going to be really interesting to see how it works out for the man. It's quite a different playstyle, of course, from the Ember Spirit that we saw him go for in game 1.
In some ways, yeah, but in other ways, I would say Ember is very much so an early game hero for a carry. He can be really aggressive, he can rotate and get kills, and as long as Envy's able to do that as well, then I think he's going to be just fine. Slight missable here from Jules on the safe lane. A lot of damage done to Misery, but he's got boots. He's going to be...
Look at this double damage on Jesse Vash. The creeps pluck him up a little bit. Puppy's there with the backup, so indeed it's going to be a little bit too hard for Mineski to go on. He's going to be A-OK, and yeah, top lane as we saw, Piladai now rotating in, just trying to do what he can to harass back the Darkseer.
And despite that really good pressure in the start, Cuckoo here on the anti-mage is able to catch up to the last hits. I think the reason it's a bit low is dual lanes in the mid lane and the off lane versus the safe Quap is a bit of a weird matchup in the sense that Darkseer makes last hitting a little hard because it's going to be under tower and the Iron Shells are making things hard to predict. So not too surprised to see all the last hits fairly low this game.
Indeed, in the mid lane matchup at the moment, pretty even between the two of them. 16 for 3 on Weeha, 14 for 5 on Potato. So obviously having that presence of both of the supports earlier on in the game has worked out for them both, and they'll keep on par. And Weeha, of course, he's playing the SF on the Dire side. We see a lot of teams like to pick it up on the Radiant because of the easier potential to back up and clear out the stacks. This time he's going to rely on his supports more so to do that and create those stacks for him. And we can see already Puppey in the jungle starting to make those up for the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, Puppey's progression here was great. He started in the off lane, he pressured the crap out of the anti-mage, limited his last hit, so he's slightly behind where he would have been before, and you know, maybe if you get lucky you can get a kill as well. And this also forced the Undying to shift over as well, so it kind of accomplished a lot of things here and really did a lot. And now he goes back, stacks to anticipate helping out the Shadow Fiend, and now he can say, okay, I've pressured the map enough, I need to go back and be a little greedy for myself, and to do that, he'll pull.
Jules is stuck on the Winter Wyvern there. Got himself in a bit of a tricky position with the Arctic Burn, so, I mean, Piladai's going to come up, and okay, Jesse Vash gets him out there. The Tango. Piladai coming right round into the two of them here. Perhaps a void down onto Jules. He's got that movement speed though here during the night time, so he's going to be all right. He may back off though into a potential win range, and he needs to be aware of a shackle shot. Now it looks like Raging Potato's just looking to clear up the camp here, so Piladai's going to be all right.
He didn't just come to harass Jules, he also placed a really good Observer Ward that's going to spot exactly where the supports are rotating. So now Shadow Fiend knows how aggressive he can be, because they'll see where the Undying is. If Undying's not going mid, then he only has to worry about dying to Wind Ranger, which is pretty unlikely, frankly. It's more opposite to have the opposite happen. So Weeha's going to be able to get a bit extra last hits and advantage out of this mid lane because of that really good Observer Ward.
Well, Jesse Vash and Piladai still just keeping the attention of each other. Bottom lane, we're seeing them do their best to harass Misery back. He's certainly not finding the greatest of CS, but he's getting what a tight end needs, and he's getting the levels here at the moment.
Yeah, levels are really what it's about. You hit level 6, you go back to base, and then you organize a gank with somewhere, you get a kill with that, and ultimately you'll go back to farming when your Ravage is down and try to pick up a Blink Dagger. And once you get a Blink, things can be very good for their team. They don't have a lot of follow-up is the only downside, but if they get a good Ravage, it'll allow Envy to set up a better ulti with the Scream. Things like that will make a big difference.
Radiant's middle tower.
We are now in the mid lane, is starting to break ahead of the Wind Ranger, 35 compared to the 22, and that is still with the stack being there that Puppey's created. So he's going to have that as well to create even more of a distance between himself and the Wind Ranger. Top lane Envy, nearly level 7, has got that Sonic Wave, so Ryo has to be careful how close he gets to getting low. You've got Puppey as well hanging around, maybe seeing if they can go for something. At the moment, 6 minutes in, still no first blood yet coming into sight for either side.
He actually stood there to block the camp because that prevented Ryo from being able to pull that. So by him standing there, it means a little bit less farm coming to Darkseer. Puppey gets a single pull off, which normally would push the lane. This is fine because Ryo's always pushing the lane in the counterbalance. So Puppey gets a little bit of levels. He slightly denies what Darkseer gets, and overall a very marginal advantage going to Secret with this play.
And Night Stalker just trying to get some levels there in the mid lane. Only level 2 at the moment on Piladai. You've got your level 6 coming out on Cuckoo. Halfway through level 5 on Misery.
That's so leveled. For an offlane hero, this is amazing. If he was here by himself at the start, Undying or Winter Wyvern could have solo zone.
They want to go straight in with the Mana Void. It doesn't do a lot of damage level 1, but it looks with the Splinter Blast and the Tombstone, they're going to get the first blood, and it will go the way of Cuckoo there. So Mineski finding what they were looking for and finally managing to get a kill on the board there.
It's actually a great dual lane combo to kill Tidehunter. Tidehunter is very strong to physical right clicks, so heroes that have to do a lot of those to kill somebody, it's a little bit weak, but with Undying you have Decay, lowers his strength and does magic damage. Slurp does magic damage, Splinter Blast does magic damage. They actually dealt with him very, very easily. And a nice use of Mana Void as well. Even though it didn't do that much damage, every little bit helps in terms of magic.
And that's going to be, let's go Shred's done. Piladai on the Night Stalker will be looking for that urn. And Misery, he's more than halfway towards getting those Arcanes. And they'll continue to trade the farm. Maybe at this point, we'll see the supports be okay. Envy top lane. Very nice indeed. Managed to move in there with the Sonic Wave and burst down the Darkseer. So Rai did not expect that one, hiding behind the tier 1.
Radiant's top
Did you expect
tower
that
is
one?
under
I don't think the
attack.
observer did.
Dire's top tower is under
love you, Pim.
attack.
It's somebody else's fault, not ours. Right. So pretty good kill there for Envy. He's going to be on cooldown for a while, but this is a period of time where Queen of Pain usually is a little passive. It would be nice to have his ult if he was worried about Mineski actually roaming and ganking, but they don't really have the best ganking supports. Winter Wyvern and Undyne aren't really known for that. But with that said, Jules is actually doing pretty good on levels. He's almost level 6. He just hit 5 here. And when he does hit 6, ganking for him is actually a real possibility that could happen.
Yeah, especially if they manage to do it in tandem with the Dark Seas. Rai has been having a great time at the top. Level 7. He's really recovered from the fact that he was getting harassed back at the start. He's starting to get that CS. Envy looking to wrap around potentially. Same time, mid lane, they're going down Parlay down with the focus fire. They'll get it. Raging Potato picks up that kill. And a second pick off now for Mineski.
That's a really big kill. Not really
Dire's
expecting
middle tower is
Wind
under
Rangers in
attack.
most cases to get CS. I feel like Raging Potato is doing worse in this lane though than he should be. Like obviously Weeha's playing Shadow Fiend, and Shadow Fiend can farm very rapidly, and he got stacks, but he's sitting like
Double
half of the
CS.
CS. I really feel like
It's a big difference.
A top tier Wind Ranger player like Sumail or something like that would be able to be semi-competitive in matchups that aren't maybe in his advantage. So I feel like he has been LS hit a bit. He did get pressured a little bit as well, but his CS is quite a ways behind Shadow Fiend's, and that could really add up over the course of the game.
And Cuckoo now with the Perseverance. Of course, looking for the as best of a timing as he can get on that Battle Fury. And of course, Envy, we're yet to see him leave the lane. Level 8 at the moment. At this point, is it just reliant on the crop to farm up the first item, maybe something like an Orchid, and then look to be a little bit more mobile across the map?
It's definitely going to be an Orchid game, yeah. Just because it helps him kill the Wind Ranger, it helps him really pressure the Anti-Mage. So there's a huge timing window there. If you get your Orchid at a really early time, like before Anti-Mage gets Manto, which is more towards the 20-minute mark. So if you get your Orchid any time before 20 minutes, Anti-Mage is a pretty straightforward gank. Queen of Pain plus 1 other damage source means a dead Anti-Mage. Now, they don't have the best damage sources this game. It's a Dazzle, a Night Stalker. Shadow Fiend isn't that mobile, so it's hard for him to gank the AM, but the Orchid alone will give them a lot of options towards shutting down this Anti-Mage and delaying his Mantle style, which is really where he gets strong at team fighting. So Orchid is definitely going to be the play here.
I want to talk about this, a bit of an unusual one coming out from Weeha. Brown Boots, Aquila, Shadowblade.
Not weird at all, man. He's been doing this all tournament.
Okay.
Grabs the Shadowblade, and this allows him to help gank the Anti-Mage.
I mean, this is the Weeha build then. It's not something that other SFs normally emulate.
I mean, it is a very, very old school build, and going back pubs like 6 years and stuff like that, Shadow Fiends would consistently build Shadowblade, but it's coming back a little in the pro scene just because it turns a Shadow Fiend from a passive sieging hero who would normally grab like Mech, Sanjinyasha, BKB into a hero that can grab Shadowblade, get a kill or two using an ultimate, like a freebie kill, and then buying those tanky items. So it's just a slightly different play style. It's more oriented around ganks, and that's exactly what he's going to try for.
Absolutely, straight up. As soon as he comes out, moves to the bottom lane. He's going to look to try and set up. He's got the level 2 Requiem, looking for the timing.
Oh, the sentry. They've watched the replays.
Yeah.
They know Weeha is going to go for those kind of things. And
Oh, Shackle onto Envy, landing onto the one tree next to him there. Vacuum back as well, but they don't quite have the control. Envy will be able to blink it out. Misery is there and does have that Ravage if they want to try and turn. Sonic Wave is up as well. If Mineski come too close to this Tidehunter, Misery may just want to look to pop it. They're coming up the lane. Misery's there hiding. He's going to move forward. There's your Ravage. Sonic Wave to follow up as well. Straight into the middle. There's one. They get the Shadow Strike out to Potato. He did get the win run off, but I'm sure they'll chase this down for a second kill. TP reactions are coming through, and that's going to be enough to turn this. They're going to force Misery back. They've got the Arctic Burn slowed down. Envy's still sticking about for this. In fact, he blinks forward. He wants to try and get the kill, but he can't quite close the cap. And now the slow's on him. Envy could be in trouble. He's desperate for the kill. There we go. He does get it, but now is he going to be able to get himself out? He's got a TP. He's got to blink in 2 seconds. I think he's going to be fine. He's going to get away with this. He blinks. He TPs. He got the kill, and he gets himself home. Envy.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
that was looking scary, man. That Arctic Burn helped so much. Envy blinked aggressively, and he was just a bit too far away. Wind Ranger was trying to kite, but just didn't have the cooldown on her abilities. Maybe if she didn't waste a Shackle shot on the Tidehunter, she could have killed Envy there, but she did use it. I'm sure that was one of the factors that said Envy felt comfortable going for that dive. So really well played by him getting that kill.
Oh, Winter's Curse, straight up onto Pylite Die, trying to look to set up a killer for Cuckoo, but the sick charges are there. And the Mana Void, it's not going to do too much. It will just force Secret back. fairly low, and there is backup coming from Mineski if they want to try and jump in behind the tower. The creep wave pushing through, and Pylai realizes he's got to get himself out. He'll TP back to base. MV continuing to pressure onto the mid, and thanks to that kill as well, more than halfway towards finishing off that Orchid now on this Queen of Pain.
Yeah, every kill that he gets is so important because it's making it harder for Anti-Mage to get that second item. He's getting close to his battlefield. Again, another Sentry Ward going to spot out Weehaw. Shadowblade not really providing a lot other than allowing him to farm a little faster and move around the map undetected. Also means that his opponents, it's going to cost them money just to gank the Shadow Fiend in addition to their time. So the Shadowblade does have a lot of uses here. And even if he hasn't gotten a kill yet with his ultimate, it still makes a huge threat. The supports can't just idly sit next to a creep wave and farm there. They have to sit together, they have to sit by sentries, they have to spend their very little money on protecting their carries. And it limits them in other ways. Wyvern would love to have an Arcane Boots right now. He would have them if he didn't have to buy that pair of sentries earlier.
Certainly putting the pressure onto Mineski, but it looks like this is going to be the chance that Mineski are going to take to look for some pressure of their own. They're smoked up, moving towards the bottom. They've got both Weehaw and Pylai here on the side of Secret. We'll see if they can get the jump here. Don't. And they're going to be able to do this though, because they're fairly tanky. Pylai caught between three. Jesse Vash is also moving in. Pylai looking to see if he can take the courier. He's going to pop the Night Tide, but the slows are too much. He's trying to get himself out of there, but the vacuum's down, and they'll get themselves the Night Stalker. So they take down the NS. He will be out for the count. In top lane, Secret will manage to find the tier 1 trade, and Boosted Travel now picked up here onto this, and Misery's thinking about it, but Raging Potato with that haste string, a little bit too speedy.
Oh, the Shackle on Envy!
Oh! Latching beautifully, they got the damage though with the Winter's Curse, they should do as well. They'll take the kill onto Envy, lovely play there from Raging and Jules, and they'll try and look for more. Chasing down Misery here with this haste string, there's your Boosted Travel, Weehaw coming in, the Ravage, and he's going to look for the raises, he takes down the kill onto Wind Ranger. They'll try and see if they can get some more, and meanwhile in the mid lane, Puppy's caught out by them, but it'll Shallow Grave himself, heal up as well, looking for the raises onto Jules, getting himself into the sidelines.
Will he live?
In the mid lane, Puppy lived, he got himself out, and now Jesse Vash trying to chase back onto Pylai dying. It looks like it will just be MV and Potato going down there. No one else to fall.
Man, that Winter Wyvern ult was so smart. It prevented the Ravage from coming. If the Ravage happened, they were probably not going to get that kill, but it guaranteed the extra stun. The Ravage was delayed, and they scored that kill. Wind Ranger did go a little overly aggressive. I don't know if he saw or heard the TP or not, but raised because there was no wind run. So nice plays there by both teams, really.
And Misery now, he's got the mech complete here on the Tidehunter. And MV just...
Ravage absolutely wrecked him, and luckily Weehaw made the right play as well. He didn't wait for the Requiem. He just
got the goal for the recipe for his completed Orchid. And you look, of course, the Anti-Mage did finish off that Battle Fury now, so the farm game's going to step up, and we'll see if he's going to be able to close that gap between himself and the SF at the moment, sitting about 1.7k on top of him.
Really good aggressive wards for taking this tower. Pie's in the position to attack from the back. If they go from the front, Misery's got Ravage. No, he doesn't have Ravage anymore, but he does have a mech at least to protect his allies. That Splinter Blast did so much damage.
That's going to be the mech coming out. Commit, and there will take the 10. Raya did now put a skill point into the wall. He was holding it off until level 10.
A little delayed. You could maybe argue that he should have had one earlier, but I don't think it was going to make a difference in any of the ganks that happened thus far. So just cared more about vacuum, I guess.
Secret's still moving forward, and maybe even thinking about... Again, a pretty careful game between both sides. With 16 minutes in, it's just 4 for 4, but both are looking for blood now, especially with that Orchid done on the quap. Secret, fairly deep here at the moment. Mineski actually smoked up around the mid lane, hoping that Secret were going to come in for a bit of action. It's not going to happen in especially 25 seconds until that Ravage is back online for Misery. They'll probably want to wait for that before they try and fight again.
Instead, they just
gonna go?
Focus on mid. Smoke was used by Secret. They're gonna come from the back. Jesse Vash in trouble.
Yeah, drops down the tombstone here. They'll focus that, take it down. There's your curse. They'll want to Misery. The wall's down as well. It's a lot of illusions, but we've come out here from Puppy. Secret's still looking pretty good. They're focusing the attentions towards the Dark Seer. Pop the mech, but he's gonna get popped himself. That's the Dark Seer down. Puppy Shallow Graving himself. Mech comes through Misery. There's your Mana Void. Secret's gonna fall here, and this illusion here of the Shadow Fiend doing a fair bit. Weehaw looking for the Requiem, the Sonic Wave as well. He's actually gonna hold on to the Requiem because they don't need it. Double kill from the SF as he manages to raise down the Undying as well. And looks like this one will end as a 3 for 1, and Secret do come out on top. Even though it was a very nice curse and a very nice wall, it just wasn't enough against the sustain, the heal that Puppy could provide.
It was just a perfect positioning from Secret, basically. Mineski really didn't expect to be attacked from the back. They thought maybe from the top, through the river, from the left side, right side river. It came from the back, and Secret's positioning there just gave them really good tactical information. You could maybe criticize the Radiant Wards a bit.
Cuckoo did just blink into this. I don't know if Anvi's going to have the damage. It's going to be...
Very close.
Yeah, he should be fine. 2 points in the shield.
If he had ult, easy kill, but he did use it in that fight, so. A rare no kill on Anti-Mage there when he gets orchided by Queen of Pain.
And that's got to be a bit, going back to that last team fight, it's got to be a worry for Mineski, because they did use the curse, they used the wall, and they lost to a team fight to Secret, and Secret didn't even use the Ravage, and they didn't even need to use the Requiem on Weehaw as well.
Well, actually, Tidehunter is kind of a good Winter's Curse target, really, because he's got damage block. If his allies hit him, he's going to be taking a whole lot less of that, plus his armor is high. That wasn't really a huge amount of damage. I wasn't sure if Shadow Fiend was in there or not. That would be the one hero they have that could do a lot to him, but killing him during that is really going to be about focusing him down with their cores, and they just don't have a lot of burst damage. Normally, you'd expect to see like a Queen of Pain on an average team nowadays, but they didn't have any magic bursts like that. It's like they can damage Amp with Undying, but it isn't until Anti-Mage gets really farmed, or Wind Ranger gets a good focus fire on the person that they Winter's Curse, until that person is really going to be threatened. So it's going to be a while until Winter's Curse really feels strong, other than for the defensive standpoint, like the fact that it stuns.
Highlight Eye moving in top. Shackle's not going to latch to get the silence onto Raging. Misery and Envy are there as well. They'll look to get the kill on the Wind Ranger and they'll get it. He's now down for 50 seconds.
Is under attack.
No stun. I thought he was going to stun, dude. Did you see that net creep?
I didn't actually.
What if they used a Helmet of the Dominator on the net creep and then stunned him with that? That would have been cool. If there was a Helmet of the Dominator.
Well, nonetheless, they get the kill. And they're maybe even looking for more. They're starting to push down mid. SMY is now done by Weehaw as well. And he's already looking pretty... He's 2k still ahead of this Anti-Mage.
Yeah.
Anti-Mage furiously trying to farm up and trying to do what he can, but he's still got a fair way to go before the side of Secret are really going to be scared of him.
I feel like Secret's definitely winning the vision and
Radiant's
mobility war.
top
They're moving in
tower is
good
under attack.
positions. Their wards are not getting dewarded, whereas
Radiant's
Mineski's wards are getting
fortified.
dewarded. Like, they've got some decent ones here, but they're pretty standard spots. And Secret just seems to be on the better page for that. It's so important. The last fight was won because Secret had better wards and they had better positioning.
Tis mine.
Well, Pilar leading it in towards the mid.
Dire's bottom
Weehaw
tower
coming in with his
has
Shadow
been
Blade.
denied.
And Darkseid could be in trouble there if they
Wilson.
get the Void. So mid lane Puppy's being chased. Look at the fear. There's your Void. And here's the damage here from this Shadow Fiend. Weehaw now dominating as he picks up yet another kill.
And the early BOTs as well. This is something that not many players do, but Weehaw definitely does. He goes for Shadow Blade, Sanjin Yasha, Boots of Travel. He loses some HP and some attack speed, but the mobility that he gets when he Shadow Blades is amazing. Like, to be able to catch up to a Darkseer like that. And it in some ways also increases your damage output, because if you're chasing after somebody that's fast, you spend less time catching up to them between attacks.
And now Jesse Vash, he's caught just outside the base. Weehaw trying to move
Oh,
on. Look at
God
this
damn it.
damage. The
Dire's
charges
courier
on the
has
stick
been
just enough to
killed.
keep him alive. So they actually lose the courier there, the Dire. Did have the
Looks like
bottle on that was...
Anti-Mage, maybe, was the one that got it. Weehaw should have been able to get that kill, but he canceled his attack a bit earlier, so small mistake there, but he's not going to feel too bad about it.
Oh, Raging Potato. He needs to get himself out. He's got a win run, he's got a TP and hope for the best. He's looking to hide here. Can they get the cancel? Can they get the vision?
Oh, he
Yes,
got
they
him.
can. They've got the Void out, and that's going to be Potato going down. Another pick off for Secret.
What a huge kill. So that'll be Ags for Wind Ranger, but 1-4-1 on a hero that can do a lot of damage. This is looking bad. Ult on Misery mid.
They've got Kuka moving in as well, but Misery just going to pop the Greaves to try and walk it off. Edge around
the Ravage
Sonic
gone.
Wave onto 4. Misery will still
Big
go
Mac.
down. Secret, do they have to follow up to clean this one up? They've got a Cold Embrace onto Kuku, keeping him alive. Envy trying to move
This is
forward with a
good.
Screen Burst. They can't quite get the Anti-Mage. Shadow Strike's going to tick him down. He's going to live for the TP back to base, and he's going to be all right. Gets himself back to the fountain. So Secret, even though the combo was there, it just wasn't enough damage to get themselves a kill.
Radiant's
That was a
bottom
huge
tower
fight
is
from
under
Mineski
attack.
there. They got him to waste Ravage, so Tidehunter is pretty useless for the next minute, 2 minutes. They did use a couple ultimates themselves, but...
I mean, Sonic Wave down as well.
Yeah.
That's gone for 100 seconds.
That was huge that they were able to save him. The benefit of Winter Wyvern AM, pretty good combo. He's already super magic resistant. Throw some physical immunity on top of that, and he's in a good place. And if you look at his skill build, he's adjusted for this. No stat points, man. He's got 3 levels in Spell Shield, and I think that was a really nice reaction to what he's playing against here. A lot of magic coming out of Secret.
So Mineski's certainly holding at this point. And Weehaw coming into lane. Got a Wind Ranger on the high ground. Would love to try and find a Shackle if he comes too close in this sentry there. He's, of course, getting the vision of Weeha as he came in.
These wards are just so dominant for Secret. Oh, I'm sorry, this is a Radiant ward. That one's really useful. But this one over here by the Dire, super great ward. Spots all of their movements. They see, okay, Mineski is turtling right now. It's pretty clear. I mean, they can't really gank until they have Winter's Curse. They've made that clear, right? It's their best range disable. They're using it just to stun and set up kills.
Top lane. You've got Pylar die out on his own.
Does he have eggs? No, but he has.
He's halfway there.
vision.
He's halfway there.
I think he just saw them with regular vision.
Smoke from Secret. Cuckoo is there. And Cuckoo's actually just blinked forward here. He's in the trees though. I don't think they're aware of it.
The smoke could break as Puppey.
They already put the weave.
Oh, they saw the blink.
Oh, Cuckoo.
Will they get him? All right, smoke breaks. They know he used to be there. They're gonna keep looking for him, I think.
He's going to TP out, and yeah, they can't. They don't really have anything to do.
They don't even have blink daggers yet. They can't find him. So he's gonna be okay there. Any new items on the map? Not that much.
So Envy finished his BKB on top of the Orchid. That was his item of choice. And yeah, over on the side of Mineski, other than the Ags, as we were saying, being done. They did pick up the Greaves just before the Ags on the Wind Ranger for the Darks here. And I think that's Manta style, obviously done for Anti.
Oh, he doesn't have Manta. He got found by Quap. But Envy didn't go for it because he's like, oh, he's just going to have Manta, no problem. It's one of those times where you should probably just do it anyways, just to test him, see what happens. But it's so hard to read that situation. If he just starts running after he gets Orchided, it could just be Anti-Mage waiting until something more serious hits him like a dagger. It's very hard to read
there's
that.
not a sentry top. Okay, there is. Yeah, there is a sentry top. Ryan knows straight away.
But look at those sentries on the map. There's 5 sentries. That's 5. Well, it's not 500. Yeah, it's 500 gold. Each one is 100 gold. That's 500 gold that one of these supports doesn't have. The Undying to be specific. And this guy's nothing. He's got a Wands and an Arcane Boots. And he's forced to buy all these because he bought a Shadow Blade. We do see Puppey go down. So they get 1 kill at least. But for a 5-position support that has no farm himself, it's not really what they need. The Shadow Blade completely paid off, honestly. It's one of the things it does. Shadow Fiend farms fast. He buys this item that's useful for him. Maybe not the best, but... And then he counters his enemy supports as well.
Cuckoo looking for some aggressive jungling here. Over the other side, Weeha is around. Is he going to try for this? He's going to go for the TP anyway. Cuckoo nowhere to stop it. And the Anti-Mage is playing this sense, but he's still managing to keep himself relevant, still just behind the Shadow Fiend. Hasn't quite been able to get himself right on top because he's not been able to find himself in a huge fight favoring the side of Mineski. About 25 minutes in, 7 to 10. The fights haven't really been that frequent.
Yeah, I don't really like his net worth right now. It doesn't make Mineski look like they're in a good position. Anti-Mages should be ahead of everybody else. Like, Weeha has basically just farmed incredibly fast to be able to keep his net worth up this high. And he's got the right items to deal with SF as well. He's got the Talisman now, so even if he does get stunned, and he jumps in and Mantis, the mana drain that's coming out from the illusions won't be as fast as they'd be expecting. Like, Anti-Mage needs at least 1 item right now to be competitive with SF, and he's not there.
And also the fact that the Wind Ranger is going to be going for the BKB next, so there's not going to be any MKB coming out anytime soon for any of the heroes on the side of Mineski. So, as you said, the evasion is going to be absolutely huge there for Weeha. Misery, he's still looking for that Blink Dagger on top of the Grease. 1,200 gold on the way to it.
And the Solar Crest, we literally just mentioned they don't have a way to deal with evasion. And now he's got an extra 25% that he can throw on the Shadow Fiend when Shadow Fiend goes.
It's going to be disgusting.
So Secret is very likely going to go do some pushing here.
Oh,
or they'll wait until they...
This mid, but there is a sentry. Jules is going to see it, but he's only going to see his own demise potentially. Will drop the Winter's Curse, but Puppey and Pylar die there. They'll clean up the Wyvern.
I don't think that was worth it. I mean, he could have ultied, TP'd. I guess he also had the Glimmer Cape, but...
Oh, Manta is there for Cuckoo. He's going to blink back, but he blinks into Misery, and Misery does have a Ravage if they want to try and control the aim, and they will. They'll pop the Ravage. They get the damage there with the physical burst from Puppey. It counts as a double kill as he moved across from that Wyvern kill in the mid lane. And very nicely done there by Secret, just positioning them ready for the blink out from the Anti-Mage.
Yeah, the best play there was that Misery waited a while to Ravage. He hit him with the Gush, he attacked him a couple times, and then he Ravaged. He needed to buy time for his team to back up, and he knew that as soon as Anti-Mage blinked, he had 5 seconds until he could get away again. So count to 5, then Ravage, then let your team back you up. Gives you like 7 seconds to kill Anti-Mage.
And with that kill, I imagine Misery's, he's only a few hundred gold now away from the Blink Dagger.
He's in a really good position, and they have a good amount of Arcane Boots too. I think it's just his Greaves, but that should be enough to help out. Now, Mineski still could get a little lucky on things like Mana Void. Like Queen of Pain, for example, has a really big mana pool. If she gets drained, if they initiate on her, for example, drain her mana and throw the Mana Void out, it could potentially wipe Secret. They have some options here. But with Anti-Mage's farm dipping behind even of Queen of Pains right now, it's looking to be a bad place for them. He also went back for a Vlad's, an item that lets him lifesteal and passively farm.
Jesse hiding. They're not going to look for him. Oh, and he can see the TP, but maybe that's because they want to try and defend this tier 2. And
Okay, yeah, I think you're right here.
they might want to try and come with it. They're sending people down. They want to try and fight this one. Jesse is going to move in. There's your tombstone drop. We are getting blocked a little bit by his own creeps, but he's a little bit too speedy with his boosted travel and this SN1. They just aren't going to be able to chase him.
He would have had to use that a little earlier when Secret was still a little bit far forward. But I'm sure he was scared. Again, he has almost no items. If he would have been out of position, like if Night Stalker would have found him as soon as he comes out, he just would have died if he went a little too early. But it's hard for them to know how many people are actually there.
And the ping's coming out now into Roshan. Secret spot that one out. And at this point, they're going to feel very comfortable going for that. Mineski unlikely to try and contest this one. The Secret do want to try and move in, and Blink's going to be coming out Misery. So at the same time, maybe Secret just don't feel any rush in particular to do so. And, I mean, we already see that Envy's working on finishing that Assault Cuirass that he's going to be very close to. Just needs the money there for the final bit of armor. And then we'll have an Assault Cuirass on this crop as well. There we go, back into the pit. Envy with the DD. Now take the Roche. Night Stalker now with the Aghanims here, Pilot Eye. And that's a Butterfly on Weeha. So some massive item pickups coming for the side of Secret. And you've just got to ask, what's Mineski's answer going to be to this one?
It's looking really bad for them. They're going to go high ground. They're 2 items ahead of a couple important heroes. Windranger has 9,000 net worth. Queen of Pain's like 6 ahead of that. That's like 2 items. It's going to be really tough. You can't even get close to matching up against Weeha. Like a BKB is not going to save Windranger here. I think she should have just gone damage. MKB immediately after the Eggs would have been the only way. But now she's got a BKB, which, yeah, it'll make her magic immune and stop the slows and the misses, but, or at least the misses from Crippling Fear, but I don't, and the Ravage, but I don't know if that'll be enough.
Online, Pilot Eye just giving a bit of harassment here to Cuckoo. The rest of the side is Secret. Still putting on the pressure. We already saw Weeha just head up to the high ground, get the punches onto the tower. And he's got the sustain of Puppey there on the Dazzle behind him, so he knows that he can do this.
They have every piece. They have an Initiator, they have a core that can tank, they have somebody giving them vision. Secret has, their lineup is perfect here. So good.
It's looking to be that unstoppable force at this point. Look at the racks just melt. There's a focus fire, but he just doesn't care. It's not doing any damage with the Solar Crest laid down onto Weeha. He's evading half of the shots. They'll attempt for a shackle, they'll move Cuckoo in, but he just turns around and hits back at the Anti-Mage, and they've got to walk themselves back off.
This is the reason Shadow Fiend is so popular right now and seen so valuable. They're on the side, Jesse Bash.
They'll drop a wall here, Mineski, but they've lost the Undying. We are just playing around the wall. It's going to be the mid lane racks gone. And now they head down to the bottom to look for more. Cuckoo blinking out. And they're going to blink forward. Cuckoo popping the Manta. They'll get the silence on the right one. Envy's lost a lot of mana. He will now pop the BKB, try and right-click back onto Cuckoo. They'll take down the Anti-Mage. Unstoppable for Weeha as he also takes down the Winter Wyvern. And only 2 left on the map here for Mineski. Secret having a pretty insane game. Game 1, we saw them struggle a bit in the early game against Mineski, but they turned it up for the late game, and in this game, Secret, they've been turned on from the start.
They are just completely outclassing Mineski in this game. They got so much more farm after. There's the Ravage initiation.
It's straight in, and they'll look to find some kills with this one. Right, we'll pop the Greaves. There'll be a buyback from Anti-Mage. Nice Mana Void onto Envy. Envy will blink himself out. They'll put the Manta, look towards Misery. It's a vacuum, but there's no wall to follow up at this point, and Puppey's there with the Shadow Waves. They'll heal themselves back up, and Weeha just continues to sit there, go for the objectives, hit Tirax, and they'll take a second set down away from the side of Mineski here.
I don't even think they leave. Go back top lane. They continue. I guess they're low on mana. All right, they're playing this ultra safe. Secret wants no chance of going to loser bracket. I don't even know if they need to, though. I mean, Mineski is so far behind in farm. They still have the Aegis. They're just going to go back. They're going to farm for about 40 seconds, and then they're going to go back top, and they're going to end the game. I just really think that Secret clearly outclassed Mineski this game. They farmed faster than them in all categories. They completely won the mid lane. Weeha's been out-farming an anti-mage consistently, even though he got a relatively fast timing on the Battle Fairy. Oh, he's going to go for the kill on Cuckoo.
Okay, Cuckoo taking on the edge here. Will blink out, so won't be able to quite find the damage for the kill. Scaring away the anti-mage. But yeah, as you said, the fact that this Shadow Fiend 8k ahead of this anti-mage.
Yeah, I almost feel a little bad for Mineski in the sense that, don't you think they would have rather been matched against somebody else in the winner bracket round? I think they're a very good team, and they definitely can match up against some of the other teams, but against Secret, arguably one of the best teams, top 2, top 3 teams in the entire tournament, they're very far behind this game.
And there we go, MV just moving forward. There's an MKB now on Weeha as well. It's just getting scary and scary. Mineski are smoked up. They're going to look for an engagement. They've got all the ultimates. Misery, the one that's revealing himself at the moment in the lane. At the same time, Envy's going to find the pickup onto Rim Ranger, so they've already taken out Raging Potato. Cuckoo will blink himself out, and they'll into the fight here. Envy, they'll drop the wall on him, but the BKB's out for the man. There's just Sonic Wave flying through. Does actually clip both Jules and the Darkseer. They'll get off the Winter's Curse. Turning on to Envy. Can they actually kill him in time? No, it's a double kill for Envy. Monster kill streak for Weeha. Make that a triple kill. And Secret playing on a totally different level to that of Mineski in this game, and they take it 33 minutes in, 20-7, Purge.
They made that look pretty straightforward, honestly. Won all their lanes, got the items they needed. Yeah, they died here and there. Mineski had a couple good ganks and stuff like that, but they just consistently stayed ahead in farm, in warding. They always knew where their opponents were, and they never let them get a really good team fight.
Absolutely not. And we saw, though, in Game 1, Mineski, there's still a bit of hope for them. These guys, they can step it up, but as we saw there, they just couldn't do it to the same level as Team Secret. But they will, of course, get another chance. Be in upper bracket, they'll be knocked down. In a best of 1, maybe Mineski can do it enough to keep themselves in the tournament.
I believe they're going to best of 3s for sure.
Oh, best of 3s now, sorry. It's all best of 3s
in the first round.
now.
They're already on the second round of the loser bracket, and I definitely think that there's some teams down there that they can beat. So the hope is still alive for them.
Indeed. But as expected, a lot of people would have thought that this was going to happen. Secret 2-0 the side of Mineski and move forward in the upper bracket. That's it from myself and Purge. Back over to you, Paul, on the panel.
Thank you very much, OD Pixel and Purge in the commentary booth for our second game. And the first match of the day is concluded, and it's concluded pretty much as expected in the end. Malk, what did you make of it?
Yeah, as you just said, this was probably what was to be expected. Trolls and I are obviously with the correct prediction, and not so much.
I'm half correct. I got Secret.
That's also half wrong.
I felt the knife coming across from the other side of the desk there.
Well, I feel like Mineski played the